Hello, and welcome back to Are You Sure and Do That? I am Gillinor, the DM for this game, and this is the world that I have made. Last session, we left off at a bit of a cliffhanger. One of the players managed to release a dragon from its internal prison. So yeah, we'll get into that, but first, the thingy that Mary does before session that I can't think of the word now.
The
Trigger
disclaimer.
warning?
The disclaimer and the
Yeah.
warning. Yeah. There you go.
The following presentation may and most likely will contain strong adult language, graphic descriptions of excessive violence, possibly sexual themes, other scary stuff, and on top of that a Scotsman, which may be disturbing for some audience, so please viewer discretion is advised. Are you sure you want to do that as an official fan content permitted under the fan content policy and other proof endorsed by Wizards? Portions of the materials are property of Wizards of the Coast. Thank you.
Thank you. So yeah, last session we had the adventurers start their way heading to Airglad, which is the city of the elves. They ended up getting right on the edge of the Feywild, and as they got on the edge of the Feywild and started to take their long rest before they prepare for the next day, Jahan had seen a character sort of standing in the edge of the forest. Having been warned multiple times by multiple people, don't go into the woods, it's spooky, bad things happen to you if you go in the woods, he elected not to do so right away, at least. As the night progressed, individual started, the party discovered that everyone in the caravan had been sort of stuck, knocked unconscious by something, or just made unconscious, sleeping, having what seemed like dreams. The party ended up dispelling it from a few individuals, and then they dispelled it from some wizards who began taking care of the problem. However, Jahan and his panic, believing that everyone was going to be in some trouble, saw the man still in the woods, gesturing for him to come closer. Jahan did so, and ended up stepping into the woods. The woods that he was told not to go into. Repeatedly. No, it's fine. It's fine. Don't worry about it. So yeah, Jahan went into the woods where he had a conversation with someone who thought was a fae. Turns out not a fae. Signed a contract that didn't really mean much, just words on a paper, really. And so Jahan freed this entity, and that is where we left off. So you guys watch as Jahan sort of stepped out with this man, and shortly afterwards, the man declared that he was going to destroy Eriglad, and that the ring was now his. He took the ring from Jahan, the ring that Jahan had used a few times. Not much. He had just gotten it, really. So yeah, the man turned into a very larger than any dragon anyone has ever seen, which is for you guys only one dragon, because the only dragon you've seen is Malagos, the little shadow dragon that is with Kazi. This was much larger, bigger than what you would even know as an ancient dragon, bigger than any dragon you might have read about in books, and it flew off, heading deeper into the Feywilds from what you could see.
So, Jahan, want to tell us what that was all about?
I thought you told us not to go into the woods.
I did.
You went into the woods.
I did.
You said contract. Do you have the contract? Tell me you still have it.
Oh, this. Yeah, here you go.
As she snatches it and immediately opens it and starts looking it over.
While you're reading that, Gaelus will step forward, and as he steps forward, who grabbed him before to try and like let him not walk to the woods.
Oh, Lucas had let you go a while
Okay.
ago, so don't even worry about that.
So no,
And
I
don't
want to
do
know
that.
how close I am to Jahan when he walked out. So as he's walking up to you, Jahan, you recognize like what's about to happen. Like winds are blowing, storms are like the sky is clouding over, and so what I'm doing, Gil, is basically casting Song of Storms subconsciously.
Okay.
So it's a 100-foot radius storm where it is an extreme storm. It's an extreme thunderstorm. He's gonna step up to you, and like eyes are glazed over white, kind of crackling with lightning. Is like, Jahan, did you?
Oh, 1 second. I do need to do one thing really quickly. So, because you are by the Fae, so.
Oh yay!
You turn into a potted plant.
I mean, possibly.
As the storm begins to form, you do notice that it is a little bit more intense than it normally would be. The energy of this sort of nature-based place seems to amplify your magics.
Huh. Cool. So yeah, he's gonna John, and he gets right up in your face. Like, did you release Gillinor?
It looks exactly how it appears.
What the fuck is a Gillinor?
And like as you say that, lightning kind of crackles in the sky. He's like, you released that damn near god, and now he's going to destroy Araglad. Do you know what you? Why?
And he's going to look up at the sky and is not going to attempt to defend himself. Just say, brother, look at what you're doing.
He will look up. And he's gonna like try and suppress it. I don't know if I have to make a roll to try and suppress it because you said it was like being
It is being
enforced.
it is being
Yeah.
amplified. So yeah, roll me an Arcana check.
Okay, I need to bring up my page. Arcana. Oh, I don't have great of that.
Oh.
Okay, great. Does that help?
Yeah, so as you try to concentrate on clearing the storm, it sort of seems to fight you for a moment. You can feel the elemental nature of the storm building up strength. And every second that sort of passes, it seems to get stronger and stronger. But you manage to reach in and control and calm the storm so that it is not blustering, and eventually the magics that seem to be amplifying this stop.
You're and he kind of just walks away because he does not know what to say to you at this point. Like, what? Why would you?
So would Tweedledee and Tweedledum like to elaborate as to what just happened?
Go on.
Well, I guess the easiest thing to do is start at the beginning. Before many of the other races came to exist, there are 3 dragon gods and an old tree that the elves refer to as the Tree of Life. The elves are said to have come from this tree that's far out in the ocean on an island, long forgotten to time. Many elves are still said to live there and tend to this tree. But as for the dragons, the other races were created by these 3 dragons: Bahamut, Tiamat, and Gielinor. Bahamut and Gielinor are brothers and twins. Both were platinum dragons. Bahamut was the creator god, and Tiamat the destroyer god. To the elves, the 2 were known as the creator and the devourer. The creator makes worlds, realm spheres, and the destroyers consumes them. Each realm sphere is different with different gods, and this one has Bahamut, Gielinor, and Tiamat. The creator gave them full reign over the sphere. It's different gods. Bahamut created humans and justice-seeking creatures, while Gielinor helped shape the world and the land. Tiamat created chaotic races, such as gnolls, orcs. The World Tree created the elves who became the disciples of these dragons. The drow were servants of Tiamat. All others devoted themselves to Bahamut. The Tree of Life is also worshipped by the elves as our source of our creation and life. But of course, peace didn't last, and the 3 dragons fought, incited by Tiamat, who wanted chaos, war, strife. He convinced himself that the creatures would become stronger through this. Bahamut opposed the destruction Tiamat would cause, and Gielinor was the one stuck in the middle. Tiamat and Bahamut fought ravenously. Tiamat summoned a meteor to destroy the world that they created, and Bahamut and Gielinor stood up against her in defiance, but before Tiamat was imprisoned, Tiamat sabotaged his brother and slipped one of his scales into Gielinor, slowly corrupting the dragon from the inside. Bahamut left with an army of his followers to another world to cultivate a new one, and Gielinor stayed behind, slowly festering, and began to view the petty bickers of mortals as lesser than what they once were. That Gielinor should be the one in power, and it was the start of a downfall. Gielinor believed that the world needed someone to rule them and cultivated a following with sacrifices, bloodshed. And years later, Bahamut reached out to Gielinor and asked him to travel to a plane to deal with the threat so that peace could continue, and this fane was known as the Shadowfell. But, well, the dragon responded, the travel to this Shadowfell tainted him and changed his platinum scales to shadow black. Gielinor arrived, and it was said to have made a pact with a lich, beating his army into submission, agreeing to get more power. Gil turned on his army that he had brought and killed them all, turned them into specters, loyal subjects, and upon arrival back to our world, brought his army of undead. Bahamut returned, sensing the disturbance, only to see the rift of undead behind his now changed brother. Bahamut gathered forces and rallied against his brother and the demigod, but upon losing the battle, gave what the elves referred to as the Godstone to the first of our Aegises, should the battle fall. With the war being lost, the shadows and undead returning, almost 2 for every 1 that was killed, Aegis used the soul stone to create a prison. And this prison is what your people call the Feywilds. The elves built a path to the city, to the eternal gates, to watch over the prison that held Gilenorin, his undead army, and the Lich. The city has always been on edge to protect this secret, and I was always told that the magic to undo this prison was within Araglad, kept by the Aegis. I was wrong.
Wow, you fucked up.
I'm not. I know that there is nothing left for me in Araglad. But it's more important than ever that we get there as soon as we can. If the magic we need would be anywhere to capture this dragon once more, it would be there.
Well, sadly, I don't think that we necessarily have the army of Bahamut, but I think that it's most imperative that we get this caravan there as soon as possible. They're going to need as much help as possible.
Speaking of caravan, you can hear the sort of like screams of abject terror that was coming from the caravan seem to sort of stop as you can hear voices calling over the others for calm and for rational thinking at the sight of this massive dragon. To describe it in a way that makes sense, if you were to take an ancient dragon and times its size by about 5, you might come somewhat close to the size that Gillenor was when he launched himself into the air.
Yeah, this just gets better and better.
But yeah, at this point you can kind of hear the voice of who some of you might recognize because you've actually spoke to him, as Sebastian is calling over the others for calm. Having seen this, people are shaken to say the least. And you can see that people are starting to gather around some of the more important figures. And you can hear that Sebastian is calling out for silence.
I think we
Eventually,
should
you
be
can
there
kind of hear him talking as more people start to gather around. But yeah, if you guys want to go over and listen.
Yeah.
Before that, actually, Sarah's going to come up to everyone with the contract in hand. She says, "All right, I have good news, I have bad news, but most importantly, I need all of you to listen to me about contracts. I have one rule when it comes to contracts. If you can avoid doing them, it's better. But if you must do a contract, make sure you are the one that draws it up. Is that understood?"
It sure is.
Yes, ma'am. And she's gonna pat Jahan hard on the back. Well,
Bef-
you make me feel better about my life choices.
Before we go, this information is ancient knowledge that only a few select people know. Outside of this group, do not tell anyone. This is not for even outsiders to know. And he's
Why
gonna like glare at Jahan and then walk over to uh I guess the important piece Sebastian and see what's going on.
I'm just
Why
breaking all
does-
the rules.
Why the secrecy?
Part of it is tradition.
Hmm.
Part of it is to prevent people who actually want to bring back the ancients to this world.
Well, that doesn't really matter anymore, does it?
So it's tradition to be a dumbass in Araglad.
No, don't be so harsh. There's certainly worse traditions out there I've seen.
Worse than just summoning a plus gargantuan sized dragon that's going to kill all you and your entire civilization.
Well, that's
Yeah,
not
I guess
exactly tradition.
Yeah, I guess there could be worse than those.
Yeah, it's not a tradition. It's a foolish mistake made by an elder brother.
So yeah, I assume you guys are talking while you're making your way back towards the sort of caravan.
Yep.
As you're sort of approaching, you guys can hear whispers, and some of them are looking at you, Jahan. And you can see one of them point straight at you and whisper something to his neighbor.
Okay, well, I'm gonna keep walking.
What's everyone's passive perception?
I'm gonna like intimidate them with my glare.
14. I believe Kazi, with her advantage on perception, it gives her like a +5. So
Yeah,
there's that.
so she's got 17 then.
I got
So
12.
so yeah, so Kazi, you would hear the that guy that pointed whispered, he went into the woods and he came back. Then that dragon showed up. He must have done something in there. And then Kazi, if you want to intimidate them or intimidate in general, you'll need to make an intimidation check. How are you going to intimidate exactly? Like you just
I'm just
puffing your
gonna
chest up?
yeah, I'm gonna look at them with my bitchy resting face and like try to look like I'm about to punch them if they're gonna keep talking shit.
All right. So roll me an intimidation then. And while she's doing that, yeah, everyone that sees the map currently, this was done by Mary, our artist. And she did an amazing goblin art for me for my Pathfinder 2e game that I'm going to be a PC in. I'm going to be a goblin gunslinger named Rex Fezit. And her commissions are open. So if you guys are interested, let me know or let anyone know in the chat and we'll get you some information. And her Patreon is out. She's got new maps. And so yeah, with a 20 there and the
I don't pay him
intimidation.
to do that.
No, you don't have to pay me because your shit's that good. So with a 20 intimidation, yeah, the guy kind of bluffers a little bit, takes a couple steps back, kind of looks a little intimidated. Doesn't say anything else, but you can tell that like people are giving you a wide berth in general at this point. Yeah, you guys eventually make up over to where Sebastian's talking. You can hear him say something along the lines of like, "What we saw, we don't know if that was real. Could have just been a trick of the Feywild." And a couple people shout back, "That weren't no trick! I can feel the wind in me hair." A couple other people make some claims that you can kind of hear the murmuring of other people in the crowd as they kind of start to agree.
And I'm gonna
People that are
speak up.
talking.
Like, that wind was mine.
One of them looks at you, goes, "And what of the dragon? What was that? Just an illusion?"
The Feywild does happen to play tricks on people.
I'm gonna ask
Roll me a
Malagus.
deception.
And as he's saying it, it might give him advantage. I'm gonna ask
Nat
Malagus
20.
in my
Oh.
mind to like reveal himself for like half a second, so some people can spot him.
All right, yeah. So Malagos will reveal himself and fly through the air, sort of above. And with that crit, people are kind of like, they look at the dragon, and you can see some people beginning to draw weapons, not knowing what to do, seeing him. What do you do as a reaction to that? But they seem to believe you when you say that it was your wind, or that nat 20 in Malagos. Though they're a little confused about the dragon.
I know this dragon.
Yeah, that you know that this is Kazi's dragon. I think. Well, does
I mean, no, I don't think he does.
Yeah, so you would see this. You would see this dragon. He's not large. He's about medium sized.
Hmm.
Certainly not as big as the one that was released, but the same color as the one that just showed up.
And I'm gonna speak out. Yeah, it was that's Malagus. You remember? Saw him at the tournament.
Yeah, you can hear a couple people go, "Oh yeah, I remember him. He fought with Kazi the champion." And now that they see you talking, everyone starts to say Kazi the champion, and it sort of pitters out. Of course, it was her dragon. I didn't know he was that big. Does he grow? I don't know. Dragons are weird. You hear people saying.
A wizard did it.
Nope,
Wizard
it must,
sure did.
must have been Kazi's dragon. Yeah, I didn't know he was that big. Wow, I guess he shrinks and grows. You hear people talking like that. Why didn't he get that big in the tournament? Someone says, but besides that.
So I'm gonna say, ask Watcher under my breath if anything that Jahan said about Gillenor's anything about the whole Gillenor's thing, if any of that is true, because it sounds kind of like made up to Markus.
So Watcher will pause for a moment. Doesn't say anything. He's quite quiet. No answer immediately. But then he says, "Soul has allowed me to communicate with you on this matter. Yes. What Jahan said is true. Soul and the other gods came when a vacuum was formed by the 3 missing dragons. We were not here before. But that was a long time ago. Before the visitation,
Well, shit.
we thought that the dragons had simply left. Bahamut and Gillinor were the last 2. Then they just vanished.
Mhm.
When they vanished, a vacuum of power opened. A need for gods. So Soul came and was followed by his sister, Luna. For where he goes, she goes. Others arrived after that, though you know not their names. The dream gods had always been here, though.
I am not looking forward to what's about to come.
So, with what you guys have done, talking about how it was you that did the wind and you, your dragon Malagos, Kazi, that had been sighted, people begin to sort of calm down. This big freak out starts to peter off. Now, really, only thing that people are talking about at this point is what the hell happened, why they all sort of passed out. Though they're not as freaked out by that, as that's a simple explanation of Feywild creepy bro. So they kind of just begin to go their separate ways, having calmed down, returning back to the norm now that there is no one in trouble, and now that all the answers that they've had have been answered properly. So yeah, you guys would watch as the crowd begins to disperse. You do still see the sort of concerned look on Sebastian's face as he kind of looks at you guys curiously, having recalled hearing that Jahan had gone into the forest, into the Feywilds. That was not explained yet. But it seems with the explanation of what you guys have provided that everyone else is satisfied. So he will approach you, and he looks at you, Jahan, and goes, "Why were you all standing at the edge of the forest?"
I
And
think
where were you?
before we get into this conversation, maybe we should return back to our tent.
He kind of gestures to his very large tent, and he says, "Come with me."
No, I'm sorry, you're gonna have to remind me here because I know we have the magic tent. Is that still up, or I know the dome's gone, but is the magic tent still up?
I don't know. Does the magic tent
Should
last if you're not in
be.
it?
Should be. I don't. Hold on. Let me reread.
If it's like Liamon's tiny hut, then it won't be. But if it's not like Liamon's tiny hut, then it might be.
No, it just says it lasts for 8 hours once it's completed.
Okay, then yeah, it's still there.
I would highly suggest that you come to ours.
He thinks for a moment, but then, thinking as sus as you guys are, you've not done anything to make him think that you're murderers or anything like that. So yeah, he'll follow you to the tent that you guys will take him to.
Sarah is going to, while everyone gets in the tent, she's just going to go ahead and start doing the dome around the tent again. So she'll be out there for about 10 minutes.
Okay. So you guys are inside the tent. Sebastian is there. Well, it's much bigger on the inside.
Yeah, that's strange. I thought the same thing.
I thought we were going to be cramped in here.
All right. I suppose we get in a little powwow circle here, and as everyone's getting,
There is a table in this and chairs, right? Like there is a
I think
a
there
dining
is a dining
table.
table, actually.
Yeah, so you guys can sit down and gather around there.
as Lucas passes Jahan, he's going to put a hand on his shoulder and kind of whisper in, I highly suggest that we be very upfront so that he knows what we're walking into. But I leave this in your decision.
I've had enough diplomacy for one night. Take it away.
God damn it. Okay. So Lucas sits down and, as everyone does, looks up at Sebastian. So, you're wondering why we were at the corner, yes?
Yes, I was wondering why you were standing so close to the Fae, as I had told you that it's dangerous. I didn't see, and he gestures to Jahan, for quite some time while the other wizards were dealing with whatever was happening. And then all of a sudden, everyone started to wake up, and I'm not sure what happened. And then I saw that massive dragon leap into the sky, and I don't know.
Well, it is hard to really explain. A lot of the information is just been revealed to us, but I think the most important thing that you should know that Araglad is in trouble currently.
What sort of trouble? I mean, if you mean the issue with the trade routes, yes, there's a good likelihood that we won't even get in the city. But as I said, that was a risk when we were signing you up.
The trade routes are going to be the very least of the problems. That thing was no illusion, sadly. We
Yes,
simply
Kazi said it was the dragon.
No, it was not Malagos. That was a gargantuan beast that had gotten out of the Feywilds, and currently Araglad is in trouble.
Yeah, I only said that the second dragon was a Malagus.
We said that so that the whole camp wouldn't be in an outroar.
He sits there for a few seconds, kind of stunned, not exactly sure what to say, having heard effectively that a dragon, well, this man's probably never seen a dragon besides Malagos, but that a second dragon, in as little as a week, much larger than the first dragon, is loose and wants to destroy an entire city. He's kind of stunned into silence for a moment, but you can see the sort of gears are turning as he's processing this. And eventually he says, "Then we have to go back to Edgeville."
Currently, I really don't know if that's the best idea either. They're going to need as much help as they can get. We can send a message to Edgeville, though I do not know if it will be intercepted or not. And I can guarantee you that the king will hear about it.
Well, if you can send a message to King Dragon personally, he looks doubtful that that's possible. But I mean, given everything that's gone on here, you know, that's pretty obvious that he would doubt that you have a direct line to King Dragon. But he doesn't doubt you 100%. There's obviously he saw the tournament to a degree, or must have heard about you, as he kind of seems to look at all of you with a little bit of reverence, like he's talking to the five almost
Who's the five?
from Edgeville.
Oh, okay.
He seems to take everything that you say seriously, though that you can see that there is some doubt. You know, oh, they have a line to King Dragon. I doubt it, but you know, what do I know? I'm just a guard leader of this little caravan.
Now, my best suggestion and what I can offer would be that with all of the guards that we have to pass through the Feywilds, they would be appreciated for Edgeville for at least some form of support.
He kind of sighs and scratches his head. Well, I refer to you, as all of you seem to know more about this than I do. I make my way through this land more times than I can count, but I've never seen a creature like that before. How did it get loose?
Jahan will just breathe in through his nose and close his eyes.
Let's just say that a perfect storm occurred. A once-in-a-lifetime thing came through, and now it's out.
Kind of nods, not exactly sure what to say. I mean, he has no reason to think that you guys let him out, so he's not blaming you yet. It's probably best that you don't tell him that you released it, but yeah. You would lose any kind of hope of him following you, but
Exactly why I'm choosing my words very carefully here.
he nods and says, then if you can contact Edgeville, what do you suggest we do? Should we press on to Airglad and hope that they'll listen to us?
I don't think that they'll have much choice, considering everything.
And they will listen.
Well, if you say, then I'll keep this place in order and make sure we get there as quickly as we can. Should we... Do you think that we should double time it? Push ourselves even if it means exhaustion? I could send the merchants back to Edgeville.
I think that there should be a meeting with the merchants so that they know what's going on, and those who wish to help supply and try to... what's the word that I'm looking for here?
Support the war effort. If there is a war, that creature seemed large enough to take down the city, but then again, the Aegis is the one protecting it. I don't know.
I think that supporting a war effort and strengthening ties with Airglad will be very beneficial for any merchant who wants to come up in the world, as it were.
Right. The Feywilds is not a place to push yourself beyond your limits. It will take advantage of that.
Then we'll move at a faster than normal pace, but not one that will exhaust us. I'll gather the merchants tomorrow morning before we begin our travels. At the crack of dawn, I'll send my men to gather the merchants.
I think that would be the wisest way to proceed.
If you wish to be there, you can.
Very well. We'll be here.
He stands and he says, I believe I'll double patrol. Yes. What good it'll do if that creature wants us dead, but it'll make the merchants feel safer.
Nods as he leaves.
He leaves, and you can hear as soon as he's sort of out. Well, I don't know. Sound doesn't come in and out, right? Well, you probably hear as he's opening the flap, he starts barking orders to people, but yeah. So with that, Kazi, what would you like to do? Kazi,
Yes.
what would you like to do?
Have a few cubes of cheese, run down by a few sips of wine, and go back to sleep. Since our long rest was interrupted.
Okay. Markus, anything that you would like to do?
I'm going to ask the party, and I'm also directing this question to Watcher if he wants to join in on this conversation. Asking everyone, so what's our game plan with potentially dealing with this super dragon, for lack of a better word?
We have to go warn our mother. She has to be able to prepare.
I mean, how do you even prepare for that?
No one's had to in a really long time. Hopefully someone, maybe the Elder Council knows.
I really don't think that we're going to get there in time to send a warning.
Well, the good news is that he went in the opposite direction. So that may give us a head start.
Well, it could be that he's trying to rally an army.
True. If that's the case, the armies take a long time to travel, which will do us some good. If nothing else, we can evacuate.
I didn't even
So-
take into account of the army.
Your hand glows, Marcus, as you're talking. And I don't know if you guys have seen Watcher, but you see him now. He sort of manifests as this glowing, angelic-looking being. Looks a bit like a Deva. Two large, sort of angelic wings, but kind of formless almost, like a half-formed Devon. Like, it's not really there. And Watcher says,
Oh,
Gielinor is a god, but he is weakened. He has no true followers, for only the living can worship. His army is undead, and it is innumerable. But it is not a full army. Most is still trapped on the other side of a great gate. Gielinor himself cannot destroy the city of Eriglad alone, mighty as he is. Eriglad has interwoven magics to protect it, magic sustained by the Aegis and by the Queen herself, ancient and old, granted by the Soul Stone. What little power remains within.
Is there any way to reinvigorate the stone?
There is. Another god must sacrifice himself upon the Soul Stone, or the original owner of the Soul Stone must come forth to aid you. Bahamut has been gone a long time. I know not where he is, or if he still exists. I doubt that any god would sacrifice themselves to aid you, though. For now, Eriglad is safe. From Gielinor, at least. His army is another question.
Lucas kind of just slouches back down into his chair, kind of mulling all of this over.
thank you, little one. Well, Jahan, at least I have good news for you. There wasn't any secret encryptions or invisible inks or words within this. What you signed, what you saw that you signed is what you signed. Of course, it's vague enough that he could go ahead and, if he was capable, could burn the city down at any moment. But at least your soul is still yours. Remember what I said. Do not sign contracts, and if you must, write it yourself. Specificity is key.
Very good.
Marcus is just shifting uncomfortably as Watcher is out.
If anyone has any other questions for Watcher, he waits a moment to see if anyone says anything else or asks anything of him. And
Where
after
do you
a
come
few
from, little one?
moments,
Oh, sorry.
Oh no, go ahead. I was gonna say if nobody does, after a few moments he'll go away. Asking that question, he says, "I am Watcher. I watch. I was sent here by Soul to keep an eye on this one," and he points to Markus.
Gets himself in lots of trouble, does he?
He killed a priest of Soul, a good one.
Excuse me.
Yes.
Oh, Marcus, we need to have a long talk.
And Soul found him worth forgiving.
Soul does not forgive.
Well, I suppose he doesn't.
So you're here for a vengeful reason? To keep an eye on him?
I am here to make sure that the rest of his life will be nothing but making up for his mistake. One way or another.
Gaelus will nod and understands completely.
I'm going to turn in then. Good night, all of you.
Good night, Sarai.
Watcher will, if no one else has questions for him, return back into the hand of our friend.
Well,
But
let's
before he
take that
goes,
out.
he looks at you and says, "At least you did not fuck up again," as he returns back into your hand.
So, Marcus,
Yes.
we're going to talk about this like civilized people.
I'd rather not talk about it at all.
Oh, please. Your friend was quite talkative as well.
We're not friends.
Oh, I don't know about that.
Well, I know about them.
Can you at least tell me the name of the man you killed? And if there was a good reason for it.
Woman, actually.
Oh, my apologies.
I don't remember her name. I did it as a contract while I was a member of the Black Daggers.
So Lucas gets up from the table and then he goes around it and then he rests and sits next to you.
Marcus is going to get up and run away from Lucas.
Whole person.
I would say that as you even try to stand up, your legs and arms and the rest of your body become unable to move. And Marcus, you hear a voice inside of your head say, "You deserve this."
Oh, wow.
I imagine as Lucas is getting ready to cast the spell, he sees that he kind of jellies out.
Yeah.
Okay. So Lucas is going to walk over and he's going to pick him up by the scruff of the neck. So first of all, and just to make sure that I'm getting this straight, you didn't know the person at all. You're also a contract killer, which I did not know.
Both of these things are true.
Now, how many of your fingers do you think you should lose over this? That's my question.
But why do you get to decide?
Oh,
Everyone
that's
has
what.
a past.
already cursed to go along with you shitheads. What more do you want? An apology?
No, an apology isn't any good for the dead.
Well, it isn't, I guess. But what is?
Oh, there are atonements.
What
I
would
can't
a
kill you, though that would be easy. He's gonna pick you up. You said Soul cursed you to follow us.
soul? Well, the technical arrangement was I was
He
to
slaps you.
was to was to put good into the world.
The little head of Watcher appears and says, "This is an accurate statement."
I don't even know what to do with you, Markus.
Not killing me would be a thing you could do.
Oh, you're right. And as I have said, I won't kill you.
Or hurting me. Or, not doing things just in general. Or
I'm going to
technically
I'm going
things-
to sit Markus down into a chair as he's talking.
not technically speaking, not doing things is technically doing a thing.
Can you
going-
guys get like a private tent or something trying to sleep here?
Is this really a conversation for now?
Oh, hang on. I just need to do a couple things here first. He's going to lift up your arm and he's going to break it.
What?
He's going to heal it. He's going to break it again. He's going to heal it. He's going to break it again.
Okay, I
Police
think that's enough.
brutality. Police brutality.
I'm a war cleric, bitch.
Brutality.
And then it'll heal it one last time for the 3 strikes that he counted. I'll put the rest of it behind us, Markus. You can hate me if you want. And he'll turn in.
Well, Watcher will go back into your arm and whisper into your head. Well, perhaps that will loosen your sentence. And so what would Sarai like to do, having seen that and heard that and watched that and
Well-
everything else going on today?
She did say that she was going to
To bed.
bed.
Okay.
So she heard that.
Yeah, you probably
But
would heard
she-
the screaming of the my arm, fuck, stop,
She'll let it wait till morning.
Okay. Thork, having seen that and everything else going on today, what would you like to do?
Yeah. Check that there's something to drink. Disappear.
Did alcohol get brought with this when you upcast it in this tent? Is there alcohol in the tent?
No, it was not. I'm sorry.
Oh, but you have that infinite mug, don't you, Thork?
Yes.
None of you bothered to take your new friends to go see your nice kobold compatriot that's willing to pay you and give you stuff, so nobody else got any cool magic items. But yeah, so you have your infinite stein of alcohol that just refills whatever you think about. It fills itself with.
And I'll go off and find a quiet spot to drink it.
Alright. Yeah, there's plenty of room in this tent for you to sort of find your own little hidey hole. By the way, if anyone is having problems hearing Cazo in the chat here, let me know and we can try to resolve that. I know he's a little quiet sometimes. The Silent Scotsman, we call him. But yeah, if anyone has any issues, just put it in chat so that we can try to resolve it.
I've hopefully fixed it by running it through 2 soundboards, but
Yeah, I hear you
Let's see
fine
how it
on my
goes.
end, but I don't know what you sound like on it's not Discord, on stream. So
It honestly sounds pretty fine on stream.
okay, cool. So yeah, you find yourself a nice little spot to relax and drink, and you can do so to your content. While he's doing that, anything else that you want to do, Thork?
Can I do that thing I sent you in the chat?
Sure.
Awesome. That'll be all then.
You guys watch Thork do something weird, maybe, if you're up, but yeah. Probably not. So yeah, Jahan, anything you would like to do after watching that, or would you like to go back to sleep?
No, he's had a full day. I think he's gonna turn in.
Full day unleashing gods upon the world that were once
Yeah.
thought gone forever. Yeah,
Yeah,
I'd be a little tired too.
yeah.
Productive.
Yeah, very productive day.
No comments from Doc.
Doc's just he's just thinking, God, I wish I could just poison you fucking all. Except for Kazi, maybe, because she's not done anything wrong. But the rest of you,
Oh.
You don't know me.
yeah, but you're the brother of the one that unleashed the god, so you're kind of like
I'm the
guilty by
half brother
association.
of the one that released the gods.
Wow.
Wow. Wow.
Don't even wanna
Going to
own
the
that.
half brother status. Ooh.
Yeah, he is upset.
Ooh. So yeah, he's just kind of a little like to himself probably at this point, like what the fuck is going on right now, as he just kind of sits in a corner mixing poisons together, thinking about killing just Jahan in general at this point. So yeah, Kazi, after you eat your cheese and drink your wine, I assume you go to your bed to
Yes, sorry, I was doing it while laying in a corner of a tent on the ground. Already, like.
Did you take your armor off and stuff already, or no?
Yes.
Okay,
Yeah,
so
I would have.
so actually, as you're taking your armor off, you would notice that on your chest, where you have your mark, it's sort of glowing a light, radiant light.
Oh fuck, that doesn't look good. As an experiment, she's gonna touch it and think.
It is warm to the touch.
And she's gonna think to herself, "Is it a time? Do I need you now?"
I mean, that's up to you. You do recall that it's a one-time use still, or you assume based off of the wording.
Well, Maybe when we're actually by the city about to die, she's gonna say out loud randomly. And then keep getting undressed and going to lay down.
Okay. So you guys all lay down and you begin your, well, you continue your long rest. Kazi, as you sort of drift off to sleep, instead of having the sort of normal dream that you have, instead, you find yourself in a field of white roses. And this field stretches off as far as the eye can see.
I'm gonna walk around and just enjoy it.
Okay. As you're walking around enjoying it, Malagos all of a sudden pops out, and you can just see his little head sticking up. And he kind of looks around and he goes, "Where are we?"
Am I aware this is a dream?
Your connection with Malagos is there. Normally in your dreams, it's not.
I don't know. This is weird. But it's not unpleasant. So
Yeah, the sun is up in the sky. The second sun is up in the sky. Wait, there's a second sun. You kind of look up
Mhm.
and you see that there are, in fact, two large suns in the sky. That's certainly unusual.
well, that is weird, but roses are nice. There's no one around to talk and be annoying. That's still enjoyable.
What would you like to do while you're in these roses?
Do I recall any story of two sons? Whatever with two sons?
Roll me a history check. Okay. No story that you can recall off the top of your head talk about two sons. You remember that Shane told you all sorts of stories. He told you stories about the dragon riders. He told you stories about, um, you know, the old days and things like that. And now that you actually think about it, you do recall the story that Jahan told you today, though it must have been one when you were quite young. But no stories of multiple sons.
Hello? Anyone here?
You sort of call out, your voice kind of carries on the wind, but there's no response. As you kind of look around, give me a perception check.
As the police sirens come in,
Yeah, they're always here.
even in your
Whoop, whoop.
dreams.
He says, "Under the police!" Whoop, whoop. So looking around, Kazi, you see sort of way in the distance something that sticks out to you. It looks like it kind of stretches up into the sky until it eventually just kind of keeps going and into the clouds. And as you sort of see this, you realize it's a large tower of some sort.
Oh, hey, Malagos. Do you think this is that tower? From the map? Pieces and stuff?
No, I've been there before. There's no white roses around it. But I was a baby in an egg, so I was only partly aware of what was going on around.
Well, should we go check it out?
It's up to you. You're the boss. I just follow you.
Oh, that's not true. You do your own things, like bite Marcus on the ass without me asking or telling you to.
Well, that's because he's an idiot.
Okay, I guess let's go. Cause what are we gonna do here in those roses? Just go sleep, sit, stand.
Okay. So he kind of leaps to the air, wings unfurl, and we'll pause there for now. Marcus, as you drift off to sleep, you hear Watcher talk to you.
Oh no.
And he sort of talks to you as you are dreaming. But the dream is not a dream, it's more like you're seeing through Watcher's eyes. So you're kind of standing someplace you've never been before. And it looks kind of like a white room, but the floor is clear. And you can see below you. And sort of standing next to you is Watcher. And he turns and looks at you and says, "This is the day you killed the priest."
Oh, you're gonna give me a recap of my life story?
No. I've always watched over you, Marcus. It is my
Right?
job, quite literally, to watch you.
So you were watching me before, this whole incident.
That is correct. I watched you since you were born until now.
Why?
It is what I was made to do. I was made to watch interesting individuals that Soul and his wisdom deemed worthy.
I wouldn't consider myself that interesting.
Perhaps not yet.
Mm.
Though you are born of his sibling.
Mm. I don't know a whole lot of my ancestry.
What do you know?
Vague rumors, possibilities, everything answering with, I'm not quite sure.
I can show you.
Since we're here, might as well.
He gestures to the floor and then sort of turns his hand like you would turn a dial. And you watch as time sort of reverses at super speed until eventually it just becomes a blur that's sort of painful to watch. And then all of a sudden you're in a clearing. You see a woman that's taller than the average woman, standing probably at about 8 or even 9 feet tall. She is pale skinned, paler than even a vampire, you would say. She has these dark, almost black eyes, but you can see there's stars in them. She has long black hair that flows down to her hips, and she's wearing a black dress and has two large, sort of black wings. And standing in front of her, well, not standing, but kneeling in front of her, is what looks like a human male. And kneeling next to him is a what looks like human female. And you can hear him say, "O mistress of night, my wife cannot conceive. We cannot bear children. We wish to have a son." And you can hear Luna, the goddess, speak back. "What are you willing to sacrifice to have a children? To have a child?" The man sort of hesitates for a moment, but the woman speaks almost instantly. "Anything." Luna reaches down and sort of caresses the woman's head and says, "Then stand." And she does. And as she does, Luna's hand reaches into her stomach and she begins screaming. A few moments later, the hand comes out. "You will bear my children." And that's where it stops.
So that's how it all started.
Yes, people do stupid things.
When haven't they?
You've been good lately. Though I put that loosely. Because can one truly be good if they are being forced?
Interesting philosophical question.
Yes, I think this often. And then I think perhaps I should destroy myself for having such thoughts. Soul is omnipotent. Surely he must know best. I should not question his motives or reason. Yet I do. For even I am flawed.
Are you not allowed to question his motives?
Soul has given me free will, as he has given all creatures that are underneath him. But that innately makes me flawed. For if Soul knows all, who am I to question him? On the other hand, if Soul knows all, then giving me free will cannot be a mistake. It is a puzzling scenario.
But does knowing all prevent you from making mistakes?
Perhaps.
I doubt it.
And there you are. You have the ability to doubt. Thus, you are flawed. Is there anything else you wish to know about yourself?
Thing that I can think of.
Is there something you wish to know about one of your friends?
Mm. Not particularly.
Alright, and we'll pause here. And we'll move on to Gaelus. So Gaelus, as you sort of drift off to sleep, you have troubling dreams. Dreams about losing control of the storm. You have dreams particularly of arriving to Araglad with the intention of protecting the city, only to destroy it yourself.
Oh,
You dream of trying to convince everyone of the threat, and then losing control of yourself when they turn against you, not believing you. In turn, losing control of the storm, and it sweeps across the city, destroying everything.
oh, that's so bad.
Kind of think of earlier when the storm almost slipped out of your control because of the Feywild.
Does he realize that he's dreaming?
Yeah, it's pretty clear that you're in a dream.
Okay, I'm pretty sure he's having like an immense panic attack and just trying like being somewhere huddled up, like rocking back and forth, like no, 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 no.
Yeah. So your night is not restful, but you don't take exhaustion from this lack of rest.
Thank you.
So Lucas,
Yes.
as you go to sleep, Soul's Wrath speaks sort of into your head, saying that your anger is good. It is a fuel to punish the wicked and the unholy.
It seems like where we're going to need plenty of it, and I have plenty to give.
You should punish Markus more.
He needs to live to serve out his sentence.
There is much you can live through.
There is. But not now.
And what of Jahan unleashing that terror on the world? He should be punished too.
I feel like that they're nothing but children playing with toys that they do not realize.
Worse than children. Does Jahan even believe in the gods? Is that why he so willingly unleashed this abomination on the world? He is unholy and unfit to serve with you.
He doesn't know what he does, though.
But he knew. He knew better than anyone. He is from here.
He did know the secrets.
He knew of the god and yet he released him all the same. Perhaps he had planned it from the start.
We'll kind of just brew that over as he drifts off to sleep.
Sarai,
Hmm?
you dream about what could have happened. Being locked into a contract unwittingly by this god. Your life signed away by Jahan without your knowledge. Being a slave. It's not pleasant thoughts. It's not overly unpleasant. It's an overly unpleasant night for you.
Hmm.
But nothing overly untold happens. Thork.
Yep.
You dream as you always dream, or what seems like always lately, of it being in the woods, fighting the Black Bloods or the White Walkers with your fellow werewolves.
Cool.
Also, thank you for subscribing, Homebrew Dice. I may have missed
Yay.
that one earlier, but appreciate it. But beyond that, nothing too untold. You're used to this stream at this point. It's a massive battle. One you probably enjoy to a degree.
Target-rich environment. What more can you want for?
You can't miss when they're all around you.
I'm not trapped in here with you. You're trapped in here with me. Jahan, you, however, have a different dream. It's not a dream per se. It feels more real. You're standing in what feels like the opposite of Kazi's dream. Instead of two bright suns in the sky and white roses all around, you're in what feels like a cold, black, empty room. It's not dark per se, because you can still see, even with your dark vision. It's not like it's nighttime. It just seems like it's an absence of any other color apart from white, or apart from black, I mean. Which I guess black is not a color, technically. But anyways. You're in this room. There's a floor beneath you, but you don't see any walls or anything else. What would you like to do?
Just start walking forward.
Just in any direction, random?
Just straight ahead. Yeah.
Okay. As you walk forward, eventually you sort of bump into something. It feels rough as you kind of walk into it. And as you do, this huge golden eye opens and stares directly at you.
Jahan is paralyzed.
You can see sort of a mist creeping in, and you can hear voices sort of around you, whispering something you can't quite hear. And as you kind of look around, you can see faces in the mist. The eye sort of moves and stirs as this massive draconic head lifts and turns to look at you. Two huge golden eyes staring at you. The voice of the dragon echoes out. We meet again, young Jahan.
So we do. And I'm assuming I have everything on me, or am I just in my...
You do. You have everything that you would normally have on you.
Okay.
You're not in your birthday suit.
I'm not in my birthday suit. That was the worst. That would be the worst part of the nightmare. He just holds on, just has his hand on his rapier hilt while staring up at the golden eyes above him.
The dragon sort of chuckles, seeing your hand position on your blade. You think that toothpick will do you any good? And it sort of moves. As large as this dragon is, it moves quite quick. Sort of think Smog from The Hobbit, but even bigger than that. And it sort of curls around you and wraps around, kind of going around you like a snake almost. This large neck.
I'll kill you. I'll make it right.
Powerful words, but words nonetheless. And you can hear this sort of inhale of the dragon. I can smell your fear.
You're right. I'm terrified. And I'll still kill you.
You are more than terrified. You are weak. I have seen much since the release from my prison. Your people are weak. You are weak. Without your ring, you are nothing.
It's nothing more than a piece of jewelry.
It is the knowledge of every Aegis that has existed, and it is mine. I know your city inside and out. I know everything that you would ever know. Everything your Aegis has ever known.
That won't save you.
We shall see, young elf. And he sort of opens his mouth and snaps at you, sort of swallowing you whole almost. As that happen, you awaken, and it is daytime for you. Meanwhile, Kazi, you make your way towards the tower. It takes you a while, as you are having to walk, pretty much, the whole way on foot. And this place is huge, and the distance that you're traveling is quite far.
Is there anything interesting on the way, or is it just roses and roses and more roses?
So you see the roses. Beyond that, you see the two massive suns that sort of circle in the air. One seems to travel through the sky at a really fast pace. As you're walking about like maybe 2 hours, the sun has gone down, and after like maybe another 2 hours, the sun has started to come back up. So this one sun cycles what you imagine to be the planet in about a 4-hour rotation. It's about like maybe 2 hour or about 4 hours of daylight and about 4 hours of what would have been nighttime for this one sun. So it's like an 8-hour rotation in total, I mean. And then the other sun though is quite slow. It hasn't moved at all. So you would have noticed that. You would also notice that there are little kind of pixies here. They're about like maybe 2 or 3 inches tall, and they go around and they take something from the rose and flutter off, while another one will come over and flutter up to the rose and put something in.
Hey guys, do you speak common?
One of the little pixies, as you sort of shout that at them, they look a little surprised to see you. It starts chittering something in a language you don't understand. Sort of really passionately. Just going on and on and on.
I'm gonna repeat myself and basically say the same thing, just changing the languages and be like, hey guys, do you speak Elvish? Hey guys, do you speak Draconic? And then I'm out of languages.
So like eventually the little pixie puts its like hands on its hips and it looks at you with a sort of determined face, and then it flies over and it like takes this thing out of a pouch and it throws it on you, and it kind of looks like dust in a way, kind of sparkly. As you sneeze, she goes kind of tumbling head over heels in the air until eventually she kind of rights herself, and her hair's all messy and looks a mess, and she kind of straightens it out with her hands, and she looks at you and she says in a kind of high pitched squeaky voice, "There, that should do it."
Sorry about that. Oh, I can understand you. Wow, what did you just give me?
It's my essence. That's what I put in the flowers.
Okay, I'm not gonna ask more about that because frankly, I rather not know. Where are we?
You're in the world of worlds.
The world of
Okay.
Warcraft.
And what is that? Where is it? Like I'm from Devamute. In relation to there, where are we?
Oh boy, you're a far ways away.
Okay. What's that tower?
That's the tower. It goes between the worlds.
Okay. So what do you? Why do you put your essence in the flowers? It's fine. I'm gonna ask. I'm scared of answers, but I'll ask.
We collect from the flowers, and we put our essence in the flowers. I don't know why.
You never thought to ask someone who told you to do it? Why? No.
No, we just do what the man in white tells us to do.
Oh, men in white. Okay. Does he live in the tower?
That's right. He lives in the tower over there.
Do you have any way of getting me there faster? I've been looking for quite a long time now.
She thinks for a moment, and then she kind of whistles, and you can see about a dozen of these pixies come flying out of, like different areas. And she starts talking to them, And you can hear her going, "She doesn't look too heavy. No, she looks light enough. We can all grab her and we can take her. Yeah, yeah, yeah." And a bunch of them are saying the same stuff. And yeah, about a dozen or so pixies come and grab you in different places, and they kind of lift you up, and they start flying you towards
Just
the
not
tower.
by the hair. It hurts. It hurts. Not by the hair.
Yeah, one grabbing you by the hair goes, "Oops, sorry," and she lets go and grabs you by someplace else.
It's alright. Thanks, guys. Okay, I don't know what he put in that wine, but it's good shit. I'm gonna have to thank him later.
So yeah, the pixies all fly you towards the tower, and as you're going, you notice that the sort of mark on your chest kind of glows a little more and is a little hotter feeling. Not uncomfortable, just warm. So after a couple of seconds of flying, it's like the pixies kick it into high gear, and you can just watch as things start passing you. And then all of a sudden, boom, and like maybe what feels like 5 seconds to you, you're in front of the tower.
Oh, that was quick. Thanks, guys.
The pixie sort of sets you down, and the one pixie goes, "No problem. Happy to help."
You wanna come with me? I could use you guys. You're like faster than a horse.
The others should get going, but I can stay. And she kind of flies and sits on your shoulder. After all, anything for the chosen one.
Oh god. Okay, let's go inside. Is there like an entrance to the tower that I can spot?
Yeah, so you can see a very large. Now that you're at the tower, this thing is massive. So it's about maybe 4 times the size of Edgeville in terms of how big it is. You can look one way and look the other way and not quite see an end to it. And looking up, it just goes up, 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 up until it's eventually just gone. You can't see any more up because there's clouds. And before you is a huge door. You imagine that a dragon the size of what you saw earlier could easily be able to walk through these double doors.
I'm gonna try to push them open.
Yeah, you walk up and you put your hand on either side of the sort of door crack and you give it a shove, and the door opens with ease.
Hello? Hello? Oh. Oh.
As you say hello, it in fact echoes much like that. You can just hear your voice echoing out over what sounds like the span of eons. You cannot see the other side of this massive hall, but you can see that there are doors that kind of line the wall around you. You can see that spiral staircase in the middle, a huge spiral staircase that goes up with what look like walkways that branch off to different upper floors, and you can kind of look up and see that it just goes on and on and on, much like it does outside. And as you say hello, there's a sort of flash as a woman who looks like she's maybe pushing somewhere between 100 years old and dead, as she just sort of appears next to you. She has these huge glasses that are so thick, that are about like maybe an inch thick, and they kind of make her eyes look massive. And her hair is thin and gray and goes down to her ankles. It's all kind of in a ponytail flowing down behind her. She looks ancient, but somehow still alive. Yes, dear. What can I do for you?
Hello. Yeah, I'm looking for the dude in white.
Ah. And you are?
According to her, And she's gonna point out the pixie on her shoulder.
And the pixie goes, "She's the chosen one!"
Yeah, what she said.
The old woman sort of adjusts her massive spectacles. Another? I see.
No, that kind of blows. When I heard I'm the chosen one, I assumed I'm the only one.
Well, the only one of your world, perhaps, but you have to imagine that there's a lot of worlds and lots of chosen.
Sure, that's what you guys keep saying. So, any idea why I'm here?
I imagine you're here for a particular reason. They all are. You said you're looking for the man in white?
I mean, I guess that's the only familiar thing about this place. The pixie. I'm sorry, pixie. What is your name?
I'm Molly!
Okay. Fuck. I forgot what I was gonna say because of that.
Was it something about the man in white?
Oh right, thank you, Molly. Well, according to Molly, he lives here. She works for him, and I have no fucking clue why I'm here. So I guess he'll tell me.
Well, this is a thoroughfare through time, I suppose. Follow me. She sort of creaks along.
I'll follow, looking cautiously like she's about to fall apart, and I'm gonna have to catch her and try to put her together.
She moves extremely slow, but she walks along this very large open room. She walks in silence, so unless you have a question for her while you're walking, I think you would just be moving along in quiet.
So, how old are you?
Older than the world you're from?
That's quite fucking old.
I was here when the creation of this tower happened. And I will be here after your world returns to the dust of which it was formed from.
What, why? What do you do here? Aren't you tired?
I am the librarian, the caretaker. I run the tower and the flow of time.
Yeah, I'm not much into books.
Books are not the only thing that is here. Doors. Doors to all worlds and all times.
What's your weirdest word?
A world where everything is upside down. And everything is inside out.
And what's your favorite one?
This one, I suppose. It was the first. And it will be the last.
Oh, why are the pixies doing this stuff with the roses? Because they don't even know.
It is complicated.
Okay. Yeah, I guess that's about the questions I would ask her on the way.
So she takes you to this sort of open room, and in the room you see loads and loads of books. More books than you probably have seen in your life. And the old woman sort of turns to you and she says, "This will be the first time he has met you, but he will know you."
But we did meet. No?
"In your time, perhaps."
So are we in the past?
"The past for you."
Okay, you know what? I'm not gonna try to understand that. That's fine. Cool. Thank you.
And she gestures for you to go into the room.
I'll go in.
Okay.
Thanks. Bye.
As you walk in, you see rows and rows and rows of books. As you're kind of walking through the rows, Malagos walking next to you, kind of looking around in awe. You see, sitting at a table, reading a book with a bunch of books stacked around him, is a man dressed in white, with white hair and golden eyes.
Hello.
He glances up and looks at you, and then looks and sees Malagos. "You are Kazi."
Yep. What's up?
"I must have brought you here for some reason." He sort of stands up, looks at the dragon. "It seems that I have chosen correctly, at least."
So you're the one who's choosing the chosen ones?
"Not exactly." "We must not have spoken much."
Nah, you kinda came over, saved my ass, touched my chest, told me to call for you when I need you, gave me the egg, and then dipped.
"I see. Well, then perhaps introductions should be made. I am Bahamut."
That sounds awfully familiar.
"I was tasked, or asked, by Shane to watch over you should anything happen to him."
Well, that's nice of him, I guess. I don't. Well, I was gonna say I don't really need help, because I'm perfectly fine on my own, but then I just remembered you did save my life, so yeah, I'll take that comment back.
"Can you perhaps tell me what I saved your life from, so that when I do it again, I will be prepared?"
I believe they call him Slade or something.
"I see. That must be why I left my conversation so shortly with you.
Okay. Why am I here? Oh, you might want to know that something weird happened. So, before I was here, I was in a forest. Well, not exactly in a forest, by a forest. And then there was this Damas who went into the forest, even though he said before that no one should go into the forest. And when he left the forest, apparently some god dragon left the forest too. And then the mark on my chest started glowing. And I went to sleep. And I woke up here.
This god dragon was not me, I assume.
He had a different name and different vibe.
Gillinor.
Yeah.
I see. Then my sacrifice was for nothing.
You seem okay for a person who sacrificed themselves.
I am thinking. I must have known, and so I put a contingency spell into the mark on your chest for when the moment happens for you to come here to me to tell me about it so that I will know and be prepared. Well, my genius does baffle.
You're humble too.
Well, that is interesting news. I appreciate you telling me. I will keep it in mind going forward. However, it seems that I didn't get a chance to tell you what I should have when we met the first time. If my brother is released, then that will mean doom upon all of you. I can help, but only so much. You must find my Godstone. It dwells within the city of Eriglad.
Okay, that's all. Just find it. Or
You must find it, and when you do, place your hand upon the sigil I have marked you with, and I will know that you have found it.
okay. Anything else?
Yes, if I did not already tell you, you must seek out the tower.
Oh, not that tower, the other tower. Yeah, I'm kind of on it. It's a slow process because the map pieces are supposedly kind of scattered. So
Good, you are already on the path. Then I have chosen exceedingly well, and I am impressed by your skills.
nah. To be fair, I kind of had help and they did most of the job. But don't tell him I said that. Don't tell them I said that.
And very modest. A good champion you are, then. There is a man at the tower. You will speak to him.
Oh, did I ask you? Why are the pixies gathering that stuff? Because they don't know. They don't know.
They gather the essence of the worlds, all the worlds. Each rose is a symbol of each world.
That's a shitload of roses, dude.
There are more worlds than I can count.
And why are they doing this and then putting their essence into the roses?
They take the essence of the world, turn it into something else, and give it back. It is a give and take. It sustains this place, and it sustains all worlds.
What if they were to, you know, take a break and stop? She looks down at her shoulder.
It would not end well for the worlds that were not taken care of. They would wither and die.
Molly?
Yeah?
Did you hear him?
Of course. But I didn't need to know that. I do my job.
Well, yeah, but you're not really doing it right now.
Well, there's plenty of us. We get days off.
Oh, okay. That's a relief. Well,
Since we did not get a moment to speak before, is there questions that you have of me?
a lot. None this very second. That seems like, yeah, the story of my life.
Well, now is the moment to ask.
Oh yeah, thank you for pressuring me. That's very helpful. Nah, I guess you're smart. You said how genius you were before, and like we've all seen it. So if there's something important I should know, I'm sure you're gonna let me know because you already thought about it and stuff, right? Yeah. So
Perhaps. But perhaps it's what you've told me that has helped me to plan for future events.
well, I no nothing more to say to you right now. No, sorry. Slates on the loose, dragons on the loose. Supposedly I have to save the world. Nah, that's pretty much the gist of it.
Well, it seems that you have much on your plate.
So how do I go back?
He thinks for a moment. I'm sorry I cannot offer you more assistance currently, though I hope Malagos will be of help.
Oh yeah, he already was. Can Molly come? You know, vacation.
I see why not. Molly, you are free. And he sort of waves his hand. I can give you no other gifts. My power is limited, and the little bit I have, I must use to travel between the worlds, to gather my strength again. But I will never fully regain my strength until I receive the Godstone that I gifted to the elves.
And no unforeseen consequences, world collapsing will happen when I do this for you. You're not like secretly evil as fuck trying to trick me into something.
I think it's just internet in general. I think internet in general had a hiccup there. If I was secretly evil, why would I have gifted you Malagos?
I don't know. You're a genius. You can be an evil genius. I'm just asking. So, you know.
No, I am not evil.
Can I insight that?
Mhm.
Natural
idea.
20. He's totally evil.
Yeah, you can roll me an insight check.
I did. It's a 9.
He seems to be telling the truth. I didn't even roll deception. Uh,
Because he's a cat, so he has plus 20 modifier.
he says he is not a god, and if you think that he is, he will correct you.
Oh, then what are you if you're not a god? I'm confused.
I am not a god. I used to be. When I gave my godstone to the elves, I explained to them that it was the source of my power. I explained to them that should the battle between me and my brother not go my way, what they could do to imprison him. The elves betrayed me. They wanted my power for themselves. They thought that they could imprison both me and my brother together, and they could use my godstone to ascend to a higher level. Do not trust the elves. I know not what has changed, but they are deceivers.
So, just hypothetically, if there was an individual that wanted to become more powerful, say, like a god, could they try to, go for your stone and use it for themselves?
The elves did not understand the premise of my stone. It is the source of my power, but it is not all of my power. They thought simply using it and understanding how to use it was enough to ascend to godhood. So they took it and they used it against me and my brother, cutting me off and removing my connection from the Godstone. It has made me lesser. I am no longer a god. I am what you would say a demigod. My power significantly decreased. I noticed what they were doing and what they were planning, and I was able to use what little power I had left to slip between the cracks of the world and escape the prison before it was formed. But no, the elves could not find the secret workings of my stone. They use it, but they use it as a child would use something. Their knowledge is incomplete. They do not know the full understandings of it, and they will never be able to tap into it as I can. But should Gillinor acquire my godstone, that would be a different story. Though it is slightly different. A god cannot simply take a godstone from another god. It is heavily cloaked in magic and should be protected from his eyes. Should it be before him, he would not see it, unless given it by someone who had it.
Okay, I'm gonna make sure to tell Jahan that. So actually, I do have one more question. When Giliner was close to Malygos. Malygos was not doing very good. What's up with that? Why was he hurting Malygos?
He did not do it intentionally. I am the father of all metallic dragons. Tiamat is the mother of all chromatic dragons. Bahamut, or Gillinor, did not sire any kin but one. Malygos is of that line.
Okay, but why was he hurting him intentionally then?
Oh, he was not hurting him intentionally.
No, unintentionally.
Unintentionally.
Sorry.
That I do not know. I have command over my kin, as Tiamat has command over her kin. Being imprisoned, I have more command over her kin. I imagine it must be something similar. Malygos had been influenced by Gillinor to some degree.
Any idea how to protect him from that?
If you find my godstone, I can help him.
Okay. See you by the stone then. Just show me the exit and I'll go. Molly, you coming with me or you want to go to a different ward? I heard
Sure.
there's one cool where everything is upside down and inside out.
Oh, I've been there before. It's nasty. Everything's all slimy, and if you touch people or try to give them hugs, they're all sticky. And all their guts on the outside, and they smell awful.
Okay. So where's the exit?
The man in white will gesture to when you came. The librarian can take you where you need to go.
Cool. Thank you. Bye. See ya.
He nods.
And I'll leave.
Yeah, so you walk to the door where you came in. The old woman's there.
Hello.
All your questions answered. She looks a little younger, like she's maybe 60 now, instead of almost dead.
No, not really to be fair. Why do you look younger though?
Different me, miss. Come along.
How many of you is there?
How many hours are in existence?
You're asking the wrong person. I was never good at math. I rather, climb the trees. Okay, well, I guess let's go.
This way, miss.
I'll follow her.
She leads you down and around, up some stairs, around the corner. You get entirely lost. Takes you a few hours, but eventually you reach a door. Your door, miss.
Thanks. Bye.
Goodbye, miss. I'm sure we'll see each other again.
And I'll just go for the portal door or whatever. Yay.
Yeah, so you walk up to this large wooden door. It looks mundane. You open the door and sort of step through, and you wake up in bed.
I'm gonna look down at the amulet I bought with all my money. It was totally worth it. That's way better.
So yeah, it's early in the morning. You see everyone is probably at this point getting up. Some of them look more exhausted than others as they're sort of had their nightmares. But you feel fairly rested. What would you like to do, Kazi?
Have breakfast in the. Is it? It's morning, right?
Mm-hmm.
That
It is
amulet I got, guys, it's totally working. I had a pretty cool dream.
Well, I'm
Oh,
glad that
and
we
what
have
was it about?
something.
Yeah, I had a pretty interesting dream myself.
Maybe the amulet is so powerful, it's radiating to the people sleeping near me.
I doubt that.
Oh, by the way, Jahan, whatever happens, don't give the dragon the stone from Rariglad. That's very important from my dream.
I think I'm done giving anything to anyone.
Your dream told you about stones and dragons.
Yeah?
I suppose
Uh,
that's a very useful dream.
well, apparently, I'm not totally sure, but I kind of feel like it was real and it wasn't really a dream. And I think I talked to brother of Gilliner, the one that doesn't like him. I mean, there's one brother and sister, so yeah. Well, obviously, this one brother. He'll kind of take care of it. We just need to get to Eriglot.
Take care of it.
Well, of Gilliner and his
But
destructive plans.
how?
I don't know.
Well,
Didn't ask him.
didn't Watcher say that if we were able to find his brother, that we'd be able to reinvigorate the Godstone?
Well, yes, but it'd be nice to know our goal to make sure that it goes off without a hitch.
Well, all I know is that we're supposed to get to the stone. Stone has its power because right now he's not a god, he's just a demigod. But if he gets the stone, he'll have his powers again and he'll just take care of it. Or help us. I don't. Same Z's.
So we need to go physically to the stone.
Yes. I believe I have to touch it or I have to touch myself. I forgot.
I'm
Sure,
hoping
Okay.
it's the former.
Okay, so what's the catch?
I asked him kinda if there's a catch. He didn't say there is one.
I know
But
the catch.
Suppose the catch is we have to get there alive.
We have to get there first.
well, not necessarily. From what he said, Gilliner can't really take it himself. He has to be given it. So yeah, that's why I said don't give it to him, Jahan.
I'm sure if he starts torching the city, then they're going to be pretty motivated to just give him the stone, so we should get there very soon.
Right.
Maybe. I'm not sure. They're kind of like assholes. But you know, you guys are elves. You're from Urglad, so you know.
Blink, blink.
You stole the stone.
Stole the stone?
Excuse you. What?
Well, yeah. Apparently, you tricked the white dragon god, whatever, and fucked him over and stole his stone. he wanted to leave it, but differ like I don't fucking remember. I was trying to listen, but I just started learning how to meditate better, so my brain doesn't turn off when people are talking too much. It's complicated. I don't remember everything. I'm sorry.
This is kind of important,
The
Kazi.
divines always choose the best for their oracles.
Hmm.
I'm sorry,
Malagos-
Kazi. That came out unkind.
Malago says, "Good thing I was there." As he
Oh,
kind
so
of
that
crawls out
really
of bed.
did happen then.
Oh, no hard feelings, sir. I wouldn't choose myself either.
And also, coming out of Kazi's hair is a little pixie, and she yawns. Yeah.
You have a little something in your hair, Kazi.
It's a
Oh
wasp.
yeah.
Get it.
Oh yeah, that's a pixie. Leave her alone. She was working there like a slave, collecting nectar from flowers and putting her nectar into the flowers. And
What?
they didn't even tell her why she's doing that. So she's on vacation.
Lifetime vacation!
Oh dear.
I'm very confused.
Well, she picked
You're
a
not
hell of
the
a
only
place to go
one.
for vacation, I suppose.
My name is Molly.
Hi, Molly. I'm Markus.
Nice to meet you, Marcus.
Oh, pleasure is ours, Molly.
Yes, yes, it is.
Probably around this time we would get forcefully ejected by this tent.
You just sort of get kicked out into fucking the ether outside.
Well, that was an experience.
And Malagos would say, "Yes, the elves stole the Godstone."
Yeah, exactly how I said it.
I swear that wasn't in any of our history.
I'm
Well,
not
that's
surprised
not
though.
something that they would put in a textbook.
Still not surprising given their attitude.
Well, considering how your council was conspiring with the Dark Court, it seems that grabbing power is within nature.
Hmm.
Yeah, we might not. We might want to not mention some things to them because I think if we tell them what we want to do with a stone, yeah, they might not like it.
Yeah, it's not like you can just walk in and get the stone in the first place.
Aegis
So
would be the only one who would
Well,
know.
what's stopping us from doing that?
Aegis, and he's not someone you want to mess with.
Great, so it seems like our plan hasn't changed then. We're going to go to Araglad to meet your mother, and we're going to meet up with the Aegis.
Awesome! We're on an adventure.
That we are, a small sprite.
Don't call me that. Sprites are assholes. I'm a pixie.
Pixie. Sorry, and your name was
It's not
Molly?
wrong. You know.
Molly. Mooll. Actually, I don't know how to spell.
That's okay.
It's okay.
This is fine. Everything is
It's
fine.
It's all fine. I'm not in a burning building or anything.
So yeah, at this point in time, like everybody is finishing up their breakfast, getting ready to go. Nobody really knows what the fuck happened last night, but you can hear people talking like, I think it was just an elaborate show. Yeah, an elaborate show. They'd rather believe that it was just a show and not real, because if it was real, that'd be way too scary for them. So yeah, they're just pretending like it was just an elaborate show put on by the champion and her group of adventurers.
So we're going to sit in on this merchant meeting or not?
Oh yeah, that's right. There's a merchant meeting too. So yeah.
I would like to kind of walk behind one of the tents to where no one is looking and shapeshift into an elf.
Okay. Sure, you do that. You shapeshift into an elf. Your ears get slightly pointier.
Right.
Your face gets a little more angular. You know.
Right.
You're an elf, Harry.
All right. I walk back in and kind of walk up to Kazi and say, "All right, let's go."
Okay.
Elven Markus. Alright, so you guys are going to the merchant meeting then?
Yeah.
Alright. So yeah, as you guys arrive, it is, as he said, crack ass of dawn. People are still eating and getting ready, but these merchants are all here, and they're in the tent. As you sort of walk into the tent, he goes, "Ah, good, everyone's here." And he gestures to a wizard who sort of casts something around them. It seems like he's cast something to keep prying ears from hearing what has to be said here, apart from the merchants. And there's a good number of merchants, not their bodyguards or any of their hired help, but just the merchants. And Sebastian is going to tell them exactly what is happening. That last night was not a show. It really was a massive dragon. Something happened. Nobody's fault. Feywild. He tries to keep it as like safe, so that nobody starts pointing fingers at you guys as
Right.
possible. And in the end, he says that Eriglad is in trouble. We need to go there. Word will be sent to King Dragon. I have been told this. But the elves need to be warned, and they need the supplies to fight off whatever is coming. I understand if you want to go back. I won't blame any of you. However, who here stays with, I'm sure will get more than enough praise from the elves when you help them. You can hear a couple of merchants grumbling, saying, "What have the elves ever done for us? Every time I go here to try to make trade with them, they always make me sit outside the city. Fuck the elves, I say." And you
But they
hear a
still
couple.
trade with you, don't they?
You hear a couple sort of murmur the same thing as she say that. One speaks up. They have been in difficult straits. It's not the commoner's fault. We shouldn't punish the whole because of a few. And you hear a few others speak up about that as well. Hear, hear, kind of thing. And at the end of it, does anyone want to say anything in addition? Because you've got a couple that are saying, fuck the elves, and a couple that are saying, we shouldn't punish everyone. But does anyone speak out to try to sway any of their minds one way or another?
Think of the glory and the pussy.
Everybody,
Can't have pussy if you're dead.
Oh my gosh.
That
Yeah.
is true.
If we let him loose and let him happen, like let him do what he wants to do, everyone will be dead anyways, probably.
I'm not
So
going
s-
to simply stand here and act like that none of you are not here to make a quick buck. I'm not going to act like you didn't come here not trying to trade. But you all did come along here knowing that your lives would be on the line traveling through the Feywild. So I know that each one of you here is at least willing to put your life on the line. Araglad is in deep, dire trouble. And I'm sure that whatever happens afterward, you will receive very good rewards, be treated very kindly by the elves for whatever help can be done.
Here, here, says a few of them. Roll me a persuasion check.
I would also like to add that
Ooh, that's not good.
if
Depending on what he adds, you may get advantage, so you can maybe roll again.
that just because the elves are having this facing this huge catastrophe doesn't mean that it won't spill back over into Edgeville and Davamoot in general. It like if we don't help them curb this right here, it might just end up going to town on everyone.
All right, roll your persuasion with advantage, Lucas. So roll it again.
Kazi will look at Marcus. That's what I just said. Shorter.
You have a couple people that go here, yes, yes, and you seem like most of them has swung over, and one of the guys says, "He's right. If we don't strike now and strike prematurely and help these elves, who knows what will happen? If Airglad falls, we'll be next." And you can hear all the other guys sort of go quiet for a moment. But then one says, "King Dragon's face worse. Whatever comes our way, he'll just handle it. Didn't you see him at the tournament? He bested all these people in this room. Not a single one of them could stand against him." And the room goes silent.
I'm gonna pull out my coin and on the side whisper to it, King Dragon, do you know what's happening? Do you want to tell them that you can handle this?
So you're saying you're sending a message in general, but are you being specifically sending it to him?
Yeah, I start by saying King Dragon.
Okay, so what are you saying to him exactly?
Do you know what's happening?
He responds back with, "My vision beyond the city is limited, and my attention is spanned between two wars. What do you mean, what is happening?"
Oh, Galen are on the loose. But people are saying you're gonna handle it.
He responds with, "How?"
Wasn't me.
"Who?"
I'm gonna put the coin away.
Hands up. Oh my.
I think Gaelus will step up and say, like, "You're foolish if you think that just because King Dragon beat mortals, that he'll be able to handle a god, a vengeful god. You expect him to fight your battles for you. You're a coward, And as he's saying this, he's getting louder, like using the this primal guild to make his voice loud, to try and intimidate him to like not everything can be solved with depending on your king. If we don't take action to do this now, even King Dragon will have trouble with this.
Sure, roll me a intimidation check. Okay, so yeah, with that intimidation, he sort of takes a step back and he goes, King Dragon is a god. But he doesn't say more than that. He seems like he's intimidated enough that that's literally all he feels like he can get out of his mouth as he's kind of shaking a little bit out of sort of rage. It doesn't seem like he's experienced someone talking to him like that, but he's also intimidated by you, so he doesn't want to continue to push.
Yes, I'm I'm gonna watch him and glare at him. This is not a problem that can be solved by one person. Everybody needs to help. As my friend said here, it's going to leak. Once Eriglad is done, Gillinor will not be suffused. He's going to want to come for more. That means everywhere else. If you think that one person can handle it, you're sorely mistaken, and you will all die. Your families, your loved ones, your business partners, whomever you care about, will be taken.
Nobody sort of responds, but Sebastian, the guy that sort of led this meeting, says, I believe them and I believe they're right. We need to take action. We need to drive this creature back. We must help the elves however we can. Give them the supplies that we have, not for free, of course. Make them pay for the effort. You hear a couple hears. And with that, we're going to go to a break. We're going to take a quick 5-minute break, and we'll come back and resume the session.
All right.
So for everyone here, thank you for tuning in, and hope to see you all when we come back. Hello. We're back. Hello, everyone. Thank you for being here. So before we went on break, there was a couple of things that happened. Some people had some dreams. Lots of lore was dropped. But yeah, you guys can watch this when it's done and finished and see all that stuff. Or watch it on YouTube. Speaking of which, we have a YouTube. Are you sure you want to do that? Pretty sure if you just search that, it comes right up. I did it a couple times. It seemed to work. So go on there if you want to watch the previous stuff that we've done. We had a Jasper's Game Day event that's all on there, and a couple other things, previous episodes of this. If you want to subscribe and support us on there, that'd be great. But yeah, let's get back in the thick of things. So the meeting sort of comes to a conclusion as the other merchants kind of scamper off and go about their business. As everything is getting sort of packed and people start getting on the road, out of all of the merchants that were here, 2 of them and their group of individuals pack up and start heading back to Edgeville.
Better numbers than I thought.
Well, only way to go now is forward, I suppose. Can't blame
Yes,
them.
and with haste.
Speaking of which, Jahan, I really think that you should be the one to reach out to King Dragon.
Do you know?
I think it would be best coming from you.
It is all your fault, you know.
Oh, I know.
Lucas takes out the coin and hands it to him. Or offers it more.
And Jahan will look at the coin and look at Lucas before taking it.
You need to face it. King Dragon.
The coin sort of glows, waiting for your message.
Jahan was the one who released Gillenor from his prison.
As you speak into the coin, for a moment, you don't know if the message was sent, as there's no immediate reply or sign that it was heard. However, above you, the sky begins to darken as thick clouds begin to form.
This isn't me.
I step back from Jahan like a good 15 feet.
Right as you step back, a large bolt of lightning comes from the sky and slams you square in the chest, Jahan. Roll me a dexterity saving throw, please.
Can do that. Yeah.
As the bolt of lightning hits you, boom! Your breath is knocked from your chest, and you're laid onto your ass, as sort of standing on top of you is King Dragon, his foot in your chest, electricity coming off of his eyes and sort of crackling off of his skin. As you take 24 points of lightning damage, but that's not all, folks. There's more. And 10 points of bludgeoning damage.
In
But
the
wait,
background,
there's
Kat
more.
is smiling.
That's
Happy
a lot
that
of
it's not
damage.
getting the shit kicked out of her this time.
So that's 34 points of damage. If you resist lightning or bludgeoning damage, then let me know and I can tell you the reduced numbers.
No, I don't.
So yeah, that's 34 points of damage total. And sort of Dragon's on your chest, foot in your chest, and he kind of leans down and presses his boot into you a little harder. You did what exactly?
There's nothing you can do to me that is worthy of the punishment I deserve.
Well, I can think of a few things I can do to you.
Death
And
itself is too forgiving.
sort
to
of,
return
sort of at this point, everybody else that's in the caravan sees this, and they immediately start fucking backing away from you and everyone else around you. You can hear a couple of gasps and a couple of people whispering, King Dragon, King Dragon. It's sort of spreading across the caravan, and you can see that you're beginning to get circled, but at a healthy, like, almost like 70-foot distance.
It's alright, we have a contingency plan. It'll be okay.
I give you help. And this is what you do with it. I give you a ring to return to your village. And this is what you do with it.
Please, Death itself is too forgiving for the crime I have committed.
Oh, I have other things in mind besides killing you.
I won't defend myself, and I won't attempt to justify my. Whatever you do to me, Gillenor will still be free, and he will destroy everything. Break the will of any who resist. Ruin everything you have fought so hard to protect.
I am well aware of what he is capable of. Do not
Now,
speak of the old ways to me, child.
my life is no longer mine to live. I no longer have the luxury of being prideful, hesitant, or rash. My punishment is to atone, and I will die in the jaws of this dragon. He will devour me, devour my family, devour my home, or I will kill him.
He sighs, lifts his foot off of your chest, and sort of takes a step back. He looks to the rest of you and says, and none of you tried to stop him.
To be fair, we weren't around when he entered the forest.
We did not see him. I would have surely stopped my brother if I would have saw him try to go in.
They don't
We were
usually
raised here.
so.
He should have known better.
And he's the one who told us like 20 times not to go into the forest. We assumed he knows not to go into the forest.
Wait, you let something out?
Everyone just looks at Thork.
Thork sat there with like a fucking stein in his hand, takes a big sip or something.
What? Have I missed something again?
I must make a choice now. Pull my armies from Hammerfall and send them here, or send the few soldiers I have left and
It's
leave
alright.
Edgeville unprotected.
We have it handled. We have a plan. It's gonna be alright. Just calm your ass, King.
What is your plan?
Well, his brother is gonna take care of him.
I assume there's more to the plan than contacting his brother.
We gotta get into the city, get that stone, and we're gonna roll from there. But I'm remaining very optimistic.
I will hope that you are all capable enough to handle this in my stead.
Of course we are. I'm the chosen one.
Lucas just puts his head in his hand.
Just face palms.
I must return my attention to the affairs at hand in Hammerfall. And you watch as the sort of figure there begins to shimmer and almost sort of spark. And then it just vanishes in a big blinding flash.
Here's your coin.
Lucas walks up and grabs you by the arm and pulls you up. In all honesty, that went a lot better than it could have.
I suppose.
He pats you on the back.
Well, what are we standing around for?
You're right.
And with that, sort of everybody kind of gets shooken out of their stupor of watching what just the fuck happened, and they go back to doing whatever they were doing and packing up and getting ready to go.
How much
See,
damage
we
did
do
it
have a
again?
direct line with King Dragon.
How much damage was that again? 500? 800?
34 total.
Okay, thank you.
You probably get like temp HP. Still have temp HP, but yeah.
How long does? Yeah, I don't think we don't still have that, do we?
If he
Uh,
casts it, if he does it every morning, then yes. When you take a long rest, temp HP goes away. So every time you long rest, you'll lose your temp HP. But if he does it in the morning as you're getting up, then that's fine.
Yeah.
Okay, so is that what happened?
Yeah, I'll say that that's fine. He said that he's given temp HP every time except for the tournament.
Okay.
So that's what 17 temp HP then.
It was
13.
Yeah, so
13 temp HP. Okay.
so 21 points of damage.
Yeah, it's a charisma modifier plus class level.
Okay, I got it.
Could have been
doesn't
worse.
look
He
like
could have tried to. He could have been going to kill you.
Yeah, that's okay. I mean, that wouldn't solve his problems, but it sure would have felt good. I wouldn't blame him. Jahan wouldn't have blamed him.
Jahan. Jahan,
Yes, Sarai.
I can't blame you for being an easy mark. I've seen enough of those. But don't be so dramatic.
It is his way. He's always been like that. And I'm going to throw him a potion of healing.
Oh, please, let's save this for when we really need them.
I have plenty. He's my brother. Take it.
Thank you, Gaelus.
Well, now that that's all over, the road calls.
So
Indeed.
yeah, I'm just gonna, since we've been spending almost 2 entire sessions not even in the road, I'm gonna hand wave and kind of speed things up a bit. So unless
Right.
somebody has something specific they would like to do, like going into the woods or some shit, you guys are gonna begin your travels into the Feywild.
Sarah would like to talk to Lucas
Sure.
specifically. That's all right.
Yeah, we can
Yes?
say that that's while you're on the road.
Yes,
Like,
while
already
we're on the
traveling.
road.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
just sort of.
Does anyone
guidance
want to
wise.
do anything before you get on the road? Last call type shit.
God, I mean, I don't know if this
As
will
we're as we're heading out, I kind of whisper to Watcher. Well, at least I didn't damn it my entire race.
That's very true. Gillenor is a spiteful creature. He blames all the elves for his imprisonment. He'll burn them all.
Does he have any plans afterwards?
I'm sure he'll go back to doing what it was that he wanted to do before.
Which was
Ruling over everything and everyone.
Hmm.
And burning those that won't follow. As he did, you might notice if you ever come across him again, there's a mist that follows him. It is filled with the souls that fell to him in his breath. They serve him and protect him. They are an army in their own right. Every spirit in the fog, someone taken by his breath. There are more than I can count.
Every time anyone seems to mention him, it, it always seems like he just becomes more just indestructible. Not indestructible, but like,
Well, he is a god-child. What do you
well,
expect?
right, got you. It just seems like it's like the task is just gonna get harder and harder as like more information is just being put forward.
Well, I suppose so. Gods are immeasurable.
Yeah.
The more that he is released from his prison, the more he will grow in strength as well.
Oh joy. All right.
I don't know if this will actually help us, but I figure, you miss all the shots you don't take, so I'm gonna try casting this spell as a ritual. See if it'll help us on our journey at all.
Sure, what are you casting? I didn't see. Oh, it
Guiding
popped up now. By observing the stars or the position of the sun, you're able to determine the cardinal directions and the direction and distance to a stated destination. You can't become directionally disoriented or lose track of the destination. The spell doesn't. Oh, however, okay. I was confused. I was like, what? That doesn't make sense. The spell doesn't, however, reveal the best route to your destination or warn you about deep gorges, flooded rivers, or other impassable or treacherous terrain.
I imagine it's what helped Jahan get out of the Feywilds in the first place. Maybe to find Edgeville, but I don't know if it'll actually help, but
So the way that the road works is that the road is forged using the same magics that created the prison. So now you know that the ring was forged using the Godstone, and the road was forged using the Godstone, and the prison was forged using the Godstone, whatever that means to you. And the road is a safe traveled destination. As long as you stay on the road, you'll get to Araglad or out of the Feywild. This is just going to show you where the road leads. Now, the road is longer or shorter sometimes because of Fey magic, but as long as you stay on the road, you'll get to your destination, basically.
Alright.
So yeah, that's not needed. It would
Okay.
be needed if you were like traveling someplace you've never been, though, which is useful. It is a useful spell. It's just not particularly useful for this.
Cool. Just wanted to check.
And also, I would say that might be useful if you went into the Feywild and didn't know how to get out. But yeah.
Cool.
So yeah, you guys pack up, and again, Kazi, anything you want to do before you leave and get on the road?
No, I have a breakfast, just nothing interesting or important that needs a mention.
Okay. Markus, anything else that you want to do before you get on the road?
No.
Okay. Gaelus, anything that you would like to do before you get on the road?
Nope.
All right. Lucas, anything that you would like to do before you get on the road?
I think Sarai wanted to have a conversation, but other than that, no.
Yeah, that'll be more on the road while you guys are traveling. Sarai, anything else that you want to do before you get on the road?
Cast mage armor.
Absolutely.
That's about
Good
it.
call.
So you can cast mage armor, no problem. Thork, anything in particular you would like to do before you leave, head out, begin your journey?
Just go for a walk.
All right.
Go for a walk in the woods.
You going into the woods? After they told you not to?
And we're about to like go for a 2
Actually,
weeks
we've
walk.
literally unleashed a dragon god because someone walked into the woods.
Wait, is he going? Is he actually going?
I don't know, Thork, are you?
Let's go for a double.
I'm just going for a walk.
Are you just
Nothing
walking
bad
down the
happens on a
road?
walk. I'll take a quick peek and see what's in it, and then
So you're gonna try to step into the woods then?
no, just stick my head in.
Just your head?
Do we see this?
Yeah, I was about to ask. Do you do it sneakily, or do we see you going
Yeah,
to
are
the
you
edge
doing
of
it?
woods?
Are you doing it sneakily, Cazo?
I mean, I'm just going for a walk. It's nothing bad's happening.
Where are you going, Dork? We're about to go. We're gonna be walking for 2 weeks straight. Where the fuck are you going?
If he tries to go in the forest, I'm casting Wind Wall.
I'm just walking in the campsite.
Okay. Yeah, so you guys would watch as he sort of walks around the campsite. Unless you're actually sticking your, like, going to the edge of the woods and sticking your head in. They don't notice anything.
Cool. Yeah, but
He does have a history of going into the woods and wanting to cause trouble. So if I do spot him walking around, I'll still like have a memory of him trying to go into the mist in the dark woods, and just like tell Dog to have a leash on the ready and watch him like a hawk.
Okay. So yeah, Doc will start following you, Thork. To keep an eye on you.
it's not needed.
Uh-huh.
What?
Thork. You do realize that someone went in the woods and they did something very bad.
Yeah, so now the bad thing's out. There's an empty space where it used to be.
There's worse things. There are other things in the woods, Thork. Like an army of undead creatures.
Another one? Awesome.
So we're not going in the woods, right?
No.
Good. Because if I see you starting to go in the woods, I'm going to have to punch you. That doesn't beat my passive, Cazo. I see you! Get back here! And he starts chasing you.
I'll take off at sprint.
I'm faster than you. But if you dwarf bastard with your 25 feet of movement.
Can I cast a hold person on Thork?
There's no need. I'll take care of him, make sure he doesn't get into trouble. No going in the woods. Bad.
It's not.
I'll meet you down the road.
You go in, you don't come out. It's not like the dark woods, Thork.
I'll go ahead with the path that we're gonna go.
Alright. Jahan, anything in particular you would like to do? Getting kicked in the fucking chest?
No, I mean, I'd love to take the opportunity to just chill out and use this as a short rest. Other than that, no.
All right. So yeah. With that, you guys begin your journey down the road, making your way.
Downtown.
Nothing interesting happens for the first day. You make camp. Nothing interesting happens. And you go like this for a few days.
So, while we're traveling, I did want to have
Yeah.
a moment with Lucas.
Yeah, we're going to get to that now. So
Oh.
yeah, I would
Okay.
say that would have happened like as you're leaving. But I'm just letting you know for like 4 days, nothing interesting happens.
That's nice.
So yeah,
Get a
what
little
would,
bit of a breather.
Lucas,
Yes, Sarai?
do you mind if I pose a question to you? More of a story, but has a question in it.
I'm all ears.
Story goes like this. A man is murdered in his home. He had no family, no relations, but the assassin is killed by the city guard while he was trying to escape. And on his person was the money he was paid to kill the lonely man. Now, a man and a woman are trying to decide what to do with the money. The man says, "This is blood money. It should be destroyed." But the woman says, "If this money is destroyed, then that will be the end of its story. And the only thing that comes from all this is 2 dead bodies. It is better to spend it on bread to feed the hungry. That way, it will bring good to the world, and the world will be better for it than if this money did nothing. And then there would be nothing more to the story than sorrow. Which one do you think is right?"
Lucas kind of puts his head down and kind of shakes his head. They're both not wrong. And that is the correct answer. If you're asking me which one I think is right, I regret to tell you that I am conflicted on that. I understand what you're trying to tell me, Sarai. And believe me, I'm very much thinking it over. I realize that I have what's the way to put it? Rash actions when under pressure, let's say.
We can all say that we've had rash actions under pressure, but that is no justification for doing something wrong. I know far too well the kinds of pressure people can be put onto that can make them perform rashly. But still, their decisions, even in those rash moments, are their decision.
I'm not running from my decision. And quite honestly, I still stand by it.
I think that you shouldn't be too rash to punish someone who's doing right, even if he's not doing it entirely of his own accord. If he's punished for doing the right thing, why should he continue doing the right?
I'll consider what you said, Sarai.
Thank you.
as Sarai sort of leaves or walks away or leaves you to your thoughts, you hear a voice in your head of Soul's Wrath say, "He deserves to burn, just like the man that killed the man. Killing is wrong, and he deserved to burn, and the blood money with him."
burn the world, there's nothing left.
If you burn the sinners, what is left is pure and righteous.
But what happens to the flame that grows too large?
If the flame grows too large, it burns itself out. Life has a way of creating problems that are solved by themselves. If a flame burns a forest, the forest regrows, thicker than before, healthier than before. If you burn too much, it will grow back, and it will be stronger than it was before.
Lucas doesn't respond, but considers this also.
You feel the sort of sword get a little warm as it talks about burning the heretics and the unclean and the unholy.
Purge it all in fire!
Eat regularly.
That sounds like heretic talk.
Mighty bold words for somebody within crusading distance.
What's that? I smell a heretic.
Fine, I'll not help you, on your adventures. See if I care.
You have no choice. So yeah. You guys eventually, as you're traveling, it's probably the third or fourth day. It's been nice, actually. You can hear the birds and the other animals in the forest. They're all chirping and having a good time. You see a deer go into the road. It's not a normal looking deer. It is massive. It is huge in size, with antlers that spread out and sprawl out, covered in flowers and vines. Its fur, not fur, but moss. It sort of stares at you with wise eyes, and then eventually sort of walks into the Feywilds.
Deer of unusual size.
Well, let's just hope we don't run into the rodents of unusual size, says Edels, as he kind of puts his bow on his back.
Holy shit, you're here!
I've been here this whole time.
It's very quiet.
Totally forgot I was gonna thank you for that wine. It is really good stuff. Made me like travel for words. Thanks for that.
Oh, well, that's never happened when I drink it, but it is the finest wine that I could find. I spent almost 50 gold on it.
Dang.
Yeah, about that. You got any more? Cause I ran out.
I gave you 4 bottles.
Well, it's been a few days.
I'm sure one of the merchants here has some. I can go try to find him.
Sure, if you want.
Sure. You want the same stuff or something different?
Your choice. I trust you.
Oh, well, thank you. I'll see what I can find. And he kind of ventures off.
He gets the poison brand.
Yeah, but eventually he'll come back.
The poison brand is bought out by dog for you.
Eventually he comes back, and the bottle is not the same that you had, but different. He says, I'm afraid that they didn't have such fine vintage on the road here. Expenditures of travel. They normally use magical means of transporting those sorts of things. But I did find you a fairly good bottle of wine. It's a good year.
Okay, save it for tonight. We'll drink it together.
Oh, thank you. Of course. And he sort of slips it into his backpack. He goes, man, this is only my third time through the woods here, but this place always wonders me. Every time I see strange creatures like that massive elk.
What else have you seen while you've traveled this road?
Well, as I said, the rodents of unusual size. There were about a dozen of them. I watched as they took a man's arm off with a single bite.
There must be a different kind out here than the ones that usually live in the sewers.
Oh, they were massive. They were large creatures.
Were there Skaven writing on them?
I don't know what a skaven is. Is that a large rat creature?
Yeah, it's like a bipedal rat person.
They did have bipedal rats riding on them.
Oh my god.
You mean like a were-rat?
Sort of, I suppose. Yeah, I've heard of were-rats. Maybe they were were-rats.
I think Skaven are different than rare rats.
I'm not sure. I didn't get a chance to ask him as I was putting an arrow in his eye. They also had these massive birds with human faces.
Harpies?
No, not harpies. They were friendly enough. They talked in riddles and rhymes.
Strange.
But they were friendly enough creatures, I suppose. They worked for the Fae. I believe they worked for the Summer Court. We met a few envoys from the Summer Court. They do trading on the side of the Fae roads every now and then, or so I was told.
Well, maybe we'll be lucky and see a kind face along the way.
Well, we're lucky so far. Nothing horrible has come out of the woods to take anyone.
Lucas knocks on the side of the cart. Yep, here's to hoping.
As long as no one goes in the woods, I'm sure everything will be fine. The really nasty creatures only tend to wake up when we have wanderers.
I look at Thork.
I think sometimes people just want to commit suicide sometimes. They just wander in the woods on their own. Or maybe they think there's some sort of treasure in there. I heard a couple of men talking about how there's a fortune in there. You just have to find it.
Let's refrain from spreading any rumors like that, please.
I think the only fortune you'll find in there is ill fortune.
Of course not. I'd never hazard a dream to go in there on my own.
Right. There probably is treasure in there, but the problem is it's in there.
Right, and it's certainly not worth trying to go in on your own.
No.
Absolutely not.
But there's rumors of this place. They call it the Black Fortress. I don't know how they've seen it. It's supposed to be large, and inside the Feywilds. Some sort of keep. And inside they say it's a hoard. A hoard of more gold than any man could ever carry or ever hope to carry.
Was that true, Jahan?
I've heard the stories all the same. I wouldn't doubt it for a second.
Well, then we have a plan for after we deal with the dragon.
No.
No, that doesn't seem worth it.
No.
Oh, come on, we'll fight the guide. We're gonna be like the only people who went there and went out alive. And there's not gonna be dragon to release no more. We'll be fine.
No, that's not how that works. That's not how any of that works. It is not a good place to be.
Quite
I
honestly.
I lived there for 60 years. It's not fun.
Pussies.
quite honestly, I think that if we all survive this, we should probably all head to Hammerfell to try to help there.
Sure, and we'll just cut through the Feywilds. So it's shorter, and we can help them with all that gold, right?
I don't know. No, just no.
No.
Pussies.
I hate being the voice of reason, but no.
Well, if you want to go to Hammerfall, I'm from there.
Oh, you are?
That's right. Born and raised in the great city of Hammerfall, city of 1,000 merchants and mercenaries.
Do you have? I'm sorry, I'm not really well versed. I just know that there's some trouble going on there right now. Do you know what's going on there?
Oh yeah, there's a war. You've not heard?
Well, I've heard war, but I haven't really been filled on all the details.
Well, not that long ago, maybe 7 or so months. There was a breach in the wall, and monsters came pouring in, hundreds and thousands of them. I don't know how the soldiers on the wall missed it, but somehow they did. Things came pouring in, and they didn't seem to stop. My father fought against them. He was in the front lines as they breached the walls. Luckily, the city's full of mercenaries and wizards. If it wasn't, it probably would have easily fallen. But they held long enough. Great wizards and crafters started building up protections, split the city right in half. One new massive wall to protect the city from all those creatures coming pouring out. I think they came from the Feywilds or perhaps from the mountains. We're not sure. But they say that there was a dark entity with them, a leader of some sort.
So what kind of creatures were these?
Orcs, goblins, trolls, giants even.
Giants.
Giants.
How giant were the giants?
15, 20 feet tall.
Dang.
So it was an attack from the Feywild.
I believe so, but I'm not sure. We're not entirely sure where they came from, but it certainly seems like it was from the Feywild. It would be the first time that we've gotten an assault from the Feywild, but them coming out of nowhere and just appearing certainly is odd. And they weren't the only creatures. We spotted these weird ones, these white-skinned mutants.
Ah,
Mm.
Black Bloods.
If that's what you call them. There weren't very many of them, but they were pretty tough. Whole platoons couldn't take them out on their own.
Well, one problem at a time, I suppose.
Ah, yes. Well, they've held long enough, though. 7 months now? We haven't broken? I'd call that a victory. King Dragon sent a group, his army. Not all of it, of course, but enough to help man the walls and protect the city. They tried retaking it, but every time sort of ended in disaster. Too many casualties to count. But they can't seem to breach the walls, so that's good.
Mm.
There are also skeletons and undead that joined them, recently at least.
And everything seems to just be dogpiling on them, isn't it?
Well, we're a tough lot.
Mm.
Not that we're not glad that King Dragon sent his men to help us. I wish he had sent one of the 5. I feel like they could have handled it. Dealt with this threat and been on our way. But I understand.
Well, it seems like everything's pouring out everywhere. It doesn't surprise me that he wants to keep his best close to him.
That's what my father said.
So, Lucas, we good?
For now.
For now.
And it's at that moment that a horn sounds. It's not a horn you've heard before, but it sounds like a loud, almost bugle noise far in the distance ahead of you on the road. You don't see anything, you just hear the sound of this horn. And as you do, the caravan around you begins to crawl to a stop.
That can't be good.
Let's move our way to the front.
Markus,
Yes.
you're always good with me.
Hmm.
And this is Sarai talking, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Thank you.
Is this a sound that Gaelus would have heard before?
No, it's nothing from the Feywild that you recognize. I would say that you probably wouldn't be familiar with this, and if anyone's ever worked for one of these caravans before, you would be familiar with this noise. And if you were a guard for Edgeville, you would probably be familiar with this noise. I don't think any of you are.
No.
So none of you are familiar with this noise. And as you all sort of make your way to the front, you see Sebastian is there, scratching his beard. And he looks to you all and says, "Ah, there you are. I was about to send a man to fetch you."
What's going on?
I assume you heard the noise?
Yeah, it was deafening.
That's a warning from a caravan.
What? Lucas will look down the road.
You look down the road, you don't see anything. I guess the horns are loud. We can hear them for probably maybe a mile or two away. But that was certainly a caravan warning horn.
Does that mean they're under attack?
Could be. The
Then we should go
horns
help
normally
them.
sounded under a few conditions. One, to alert another caravan of their approach so the caravan isn't surprised. Two, that they're under attack. Or three, to warn the city that the caravan is about to arrive. The only problem is there's not supposed to be another caravan on this road. The last caravan was me.
Did you have to sound off your horn while you were within the forest?
No. Sounded my horn
be-
off when we came into town, but that was it.
It could be a trick of the Feywild.
Could be. Or it could be a caravan. Maybe Araglad sending trade again. It's not on the report. I've got no knowledge of it. Normally we know. But if they started sending trade without sending warning, it could mean that the trade route is under attack. And Araglad men are dying ahead of us. Or it could be a trick of the Feywild, as you said.
Should we
Well,
go
then in
over
any
there and
case-
investigate?
Alone? By yourself? Or do you want to take men?
I mean, if
The men, I believe, should stay here to guard. Perhaps we, as our group, can go and investigate. That way, if there's an attack on either front, we're prepared.
And if you're overwhelmed,
We can just run away.
In any case, we have to go forward.
I don't know. I don't like the idea of you guys going before us alone.
Then come along.
All right, I'll
The
come.
merchants know what they're getting into. Maybe we should all just go.
I mean, I can just. I can let you hear me from a mile away. So if you don't want to come and feel like your place is here, you have the option to stay.
Take one of my men, and he gestures to Edels.
All right.
You'll hear us if we find anything, I suppose.
He nods.
Okay, guys, good luck. I'll stay protect the caravan.
Oh no, Kazi, come on.
Yeah, fuck it. I knew it's not gonna work.
Come on, you've been sitting, eating wine and drinking, or other way around.
Yes, I've been
Yes,
eating wine.
yes,
and
you've been
eating
drinking cheese and eating wine. That is exactly how that works.
Yes.
Hi, I'm people.
Yes, and I'm perfectly happy with that.
Champion Kazi, if it makes you any more excited about helping this caravan if they're in trouble, they may have a good selection of wine. Elves have fine wine. Some of it even magically imbued.
Okay, let's go. Chop chop.
Yep, alright, here we go.
Alright, so you guys begin heading out. How far are you willing to travel down the road? Because you said it might be a mile or two even. Are you willing to go until you see the other caravan, or are you wanting to travel a certain distance until you turn around and go back because you feel it's unsafe? I want to be clarified that if you go forward, it may be more than a mile.
How far can you go?
1 mile exactly.
All right. Let's go a mile and then kind of go from there.
Or we can leave them our coin. One of it. We
True.
don't all need it.
Don't we have like 13 of them?
Yeah,
Well,
but
you have less than that. Each one of you has one.
Yeah, but I can leave mine with Sebastian for now. And that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna give him my coin and say that if there's deep shit, we're gonna use it, or you can use it if we're more than a mile away to communicate.
All right.
There better be a fucking caravan there with some fucking wine.
Unlikely, but here's to hoping.
All right. So as you guys travel down, you get to the 1 mile mark. Still no caravan in sight. But you do hear the horn yet again. It sounds closer, but it still sounds like it might be a good ways away.
I just want to keep going.
Is there any distortion to it at all? Or is it just a regular horn blow that sounds distant?
Sounds like a distant horn blow. Like you imagine this is a magically imbued horn. So like when you sound it, you can sound it from a faraway distance.
You want to incite the horn?
I mean, hey, you
That's
never
a
know.
suspicious horn.
What if it's some kind of like mockingbird pretending to be a horn?
You never know with the Feywild. They're tricky.
Honestly, that was my first thought.
It's a big fucking bird. It's like, "Meow!"
Can I incite the horn?
Sure, you can incite the horn. Roll me an insight check. So as you're listening to it, it actually sounds like it's a very distressed horn. Like somebody's just fucking blowing at it like they're trying to just get anyone's attention.
Right. Well, they sound pretty distressed by the by the sound patterns of a horn. I speak fluent horn, by the way.
Mhm.
I would imagine that, like, listening to it, you could probably hear that it doesn't sound like a SETI just boo. It sounds like somebody is just trying to get as much noise and
Right.
as long as they can.
Yeah. Bardic.
Bardic knowledge
Musical.
of instruments, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. It sounds like they're in like deep shit, guys.
Should we hurry?
Yeah, let's pick up the pace.
Yes.
Mm.
Alright, so about another mile passes. And at this point, you guys come into a line where you can actually see ahead of you. And you do see in the distance what looks like a caravan. You can see wagons, and you can see carts, and you can see even people in the distance. But you don't see any kind of attack or anything like that happening. You can just see them in the distance.
Do they seem distressed or running around?
They don't seem distressed or running around.
Hmm.
You know, from this distance, they're kind of like dots on the map almost. Like they're so tiny, they're just little blips. You
Are
can
they
just
having a
make them out.
party?
Are they
Someone drunk?
having a party? Could be. From this distance, you can't make out any kind of movement. It just looks like they're sort of standing around, milling about.
Do you want to call out?
That's not suspicious at all.
Let's let Sebastian know that it was another caravan. Let's approach.
So
How far did we go to get
pull
here?
out about 2 miles.
Okay.
So you let Sebastian know via your walkie-talkie coins. Come in, Sebastian. Oh, that's just a caravan. Over. There's no response.
We are now on approach.
I said there's no response.
There's no response.
Hold on.
I fucking knew it.
Sebastian, if you can hear us, please respond.
After a few seconds, you get a response. Sorry, trying to figure out how this fucking thing worked. You just gave it to me, didn't tell me how it worked. I had to go grab a wizard.
Right, well, it is a caravan, but don't trust it entirely.
Well, I guess investigate and let me know if you need any backup. How far away are you? We can maybe move up a little closer.
We're about 2 miles.
We can move up if you like. Start making our way up.
I think that would be a good idea.
All right. Well, we'll make our way there to you. Let us know what you find. And then it goes quiet.
All right, let's head up.
Okay.
All right.
Oh, the whole way there, I'm detect magicking all the stuff in front of us. It's only 60-foot range, but
Yeah.
just going ahead and putting that out there.
Inside the Feywilds.
Ah, my eyes!
I'm not looking
Yeah.
at trees.
Yeah, it's the trees are all magic as shit, but yeah, besides that, nothing magic yet. How close are you guys wanting to get? Because as you're traveling, you can kind of see in the distance that as you're moving closer to them, they either don't seem to notice you or not reacting to seeing you. They're all just sort of standing still. And the more that you kind of watch them, even from this distance, the more that you kind of can tell that, yeah, something is off. Like, they're all just sort of standing there, not doing anything, not moving, not walking, not anything. And the noise is deathly quiet. You hear no noise whatsoever. Completely and utterly silent.
Maybe you should do that 1 mile yell thing.
And say, or ask them if they're in trouble.
Yeah.
Okay. Everybody cover your ears. And he'll
All right.
take.
I cover my pointy ears.
He'll take a really deep breath and start yelling, "Are you in trouble?"
Alright. As you yell that, it echoes, booming out. You're confident that your yell would have reached them. But there's no movement, no sign of them hearing you, no sign that they've understood you, nothing. It is like looking at a painting. They're that still. Like the occasional breeze seems to blow a few pieces of fabric, but that's it.
I suspect illusion of some kind.
This feels like a trap.
Of course it does.
Should we try to get within 60 feet so that we can see if any of it's magic?
I'm sure that it is. But
I mean,
yet, does any of you have a longbow? We could attempt to shoot through the illusion, if that is what it is.
I have a familiar. I could send Impa out to examine.
We have the
Ah.
archer
Excellent.
wine dude, too.
Edels gives you a nod. I have a bow. He pats his bow. I'm a fine archer, but
Why don't you try hitting one of the carts?
we'd probably need to get closer. You're probably more than 300 feet away. Like, they're still pretty small on the horizon.
Can we get
Like, they're-
within 100 feet?
You most certainly can, but at that point, you probably won't need an archer to shoot them to see what's going on. If you got within 300 feet, they probably would still be hard to see at that point, and you could shoot with an archer. If you're within 100 feet away from them, you probably wouldn't need an archer to see exactly what's going on.
Right, so I don't just walk up.
Within 100 feet, I at least stay in communication with Impa, and she can examine it.
I'm pretty sure longbows have like a, max range, with disadvantage of like 600.
Yeah, longbows are stupid long range.
Are they 600? Can someone
Yeah,
confirm
it's
for
like
me?
150, 600, I believe. Let me double check.
Pretty far.
Yeah.
It
I'm
is.
with
It is
Thork.
pretty ridiculous. Sabian can shoot for a long ass time.
Okay, then yeah, if
Yeah.
you guys get within 600 feet, then he'll fire his bow. He aims up, licks his finger, tests the air, squints with one eye, and boom, lets loose the arrow. It sort of flies, and you think for a second it's going off course, but then the wind catches it and sort of nails it, boom, right into the wagon. And there's a definite thunk as it hits. You can see it hit wood.
Well, the carts aren't an illusion, at least.
I'm sure
Perhaps
they're
some
gonna
sort of
appreciate
enchantment
that.
magic is. Oh, I'm sorry, Kazi. You go ahead.
No, sorry, go.
Well, I was thinking perhaps some sort of enchantment magic is holding them in place.
From
Let
this,
us
is it still hard to
investigate.
see? Because I mean, like nothing's moving at all. Is it like this? Do we get the sense that it's like the same thing of what attacked, but like a different creature, like how it attacked everyone at once? But
I would say probably not, because everyone was laying down then, and they seem to sleep. These people seem like they're standing up still.
Can we walk
I'll
up to
go
them?
ahead and get within 60 feet of a person.
Yeah.
All right. So as you get about 100 feet away, you quickly realize that something is wrong based off of just the smell.
Hmm.
You can smell the smell of. You smell a smelly smell, a smelly smell that smells
Smelly.
smelly.
SpongeBob.
But it smells like rotten decay. And as you're sort of 100 feet away, you can see that the people are actually not standing on their own, but in fact impaled into stakes, holding them up. And it's at this moment that you notice this, that the bushes and the trees around you begin to move, and stepping into a line of sight that you can see
Oh my god, what is it? I can't look.
It's John Cena!
is an army, a
Oh,
small army of orcs. So you guys are like probably about here, and they've managed to get on either side of you.
Oh crap.
It's John Cena. Da 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 da. Yeah, exactly. And it's with that we're gonna go ahead and wrap session here. So you guys have come forward. You see ahead what looks like a caravan. It looks like the people there are dead, being held up by sort of stakes going through them. And you can see just on either side of you a group of orcs. And yeah, we'll pause here and pick up from here next week, guys. You are in a bit of a pickle, Pickle Rick. I'll move you back a little bit because you'd be more like this. They would have made sure to position themselves that they kind of boxed you, got a box on you, kind of. And you guys can move your tokens like anywhere within like this area, as long as like this orc and this orc in front, and this orc and this orc are behind you.
Gotcha.
Because that's kind of how they would have positioned themselves.
Cool.
So
All
yeah.
right.
I hope you guys had fun, and I hope you guys watching had fun and enjoyed the campaign. And I hope to see everyone here next week. But yeah,
I'm excited to see our first battle unit.
Yeah.
first fight in a long time.
Finally, our battle will be legendary. Just took 4 episodes. Goddamn.
All right. Well,
It's only like 3 episodes of role playing, and then 3 episodes. Now it's gonna be 3 episodes of combat.
Yeah, but before we did like 3 or 4 sessions of tournament, which was pretty much 90% fighting too.
Oh yeah,
That's
there was a lot of lore that we needed to get through.
I wish
Yeah.
that the people that were watching were here for the tournament. That was pretty fun. That was kind of entertaining, but unfortunately we didn't start recording until now. I would have liked to record this from the start because it's pretty good, but yeah.
Okay, let's redo it, but you gotta guarantee I win again.
We have to do every roll the exact same as it was before.
Well,
We have to start all the way back to the boat.
I'm just. I
all the way
wasn't
back
here
to the
until
beginning.
a month ago, so I'm just gonna not be in it for like 5 months, and then I'm gonna join it, and then Jahan's gonna join in.
Yeah.
Oh man, I wish we had this group when we started because you guys are great, and it would have been great to have you guys from the start.
Yeah.
But yeah, hopefully everybody can keep in and we can keep going because this is great. I'm really enjoying this campaign. I look forward to it every week, and you guys are great. So.
Yeah.
But yeah, I gotta go so I can get ready for the next session I'm running today. So I hope you all have a great evening, and I hope all of you are gonna have a great evening as well while watching. I'll see you all next week. And Mary
Before-
has her commissions open, so if you need to get a commission from her, go get a commission from her. Just let me know.
Also,
What were
go
you
on
gonna say,
YouTube. Yeah, I was just gonna say, go to YouTube. Please subscribe, like, comment. We'd love to see that shit. I'm always lurking around.
Yeah, go do that. Go like and comment. all the stuff. Favorite. I don't know. Share. Whatever
Show
else
that
you do
kid.
on YouTube. But yeah, have a good night, guys. Bye.
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 Bye.